Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost! But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself now. If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Between two beers.
Getting down.
Hello, love wrestling. It is 8 p.m. It is Thursday night. And you know what that means.
What does it mean? I still don't know. 145 episodes into this thing we call Between Two Beers, and I don't know what it is. What is it?
It means it's another new episode of Between Two Beers.
Yeah.
Welcome in. Before the show even started, before we got the boss on tonight. We're going to be bringing him on.
So we have to behave
in a couple minutes.
Ew, gross.
I always behave.
Rules.
You have to behave. I always
budgets. Bottom lines. Ooh, I'm Spencer. Ooh.
Yeah, but we have the boss on today. Well, I think we need to talk about another boss who showed up somewhere last night.
I can't do it as good as she did, dude.
No. But before we even went live, we had our boy Ryan Sullivan popping in with the super chat. So thank him.
Hot.
Thank you, Ryan. He said missing live because he's at the Flyers game. They play the Leafs. Gosh dang Canadian teams. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the Leafs because the Boston Bruins beat them every single time. So,
but if you want to be like Ryan, drop a super chat. We'll read your question, comment, statement on the air. We got the boss here. I'm sure he'd love to read your comments, questions, statements on the air as well.
We have Ophelia in the chat. We have Scott in the chat. We have Omar in the chat. Thank you all for being here.
Barnard's in the chat. Oh, wait, that's my burner.
That's you. Before we bring the boss on, how are you doing, buddy?
Good, man. It's Thursday night. It's another edition of the 8 Beards. We got Spenny Love in the house. We're bringing this baby full circle. Like, this is...
We are. We're going to be talking LPW 24, but the 2-year...
I would have had to take my shoes off and your shoes off to get to 24.
Yeah, so, and then with 2-year, we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of LPW, the wrestling LPW. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some stuff that went down this week in the pro wrestling, but without further ado, here's Mr. Spencer Love.
Hi, guys.
Head honcho.
Hi, guys.
Here.
Ryan, I've got a little, I got a bone to pick with you, friend. I appreciate you. But as long as you're excluding the Edmonton Oilers from that Canadian team statement,
it's a Canadian
we're
team.
cool. I know, and that's why I've sort of I've got to call him to task. We appreciate him, but you know, I'm loyal to the Oil, who happened to beat the Boston Bruins last time they played them.
They did, yeah. I mean, that was in the midst of your long winning streak that you had.
Oh, this was like a couple of weeks ago. You guys were
before you two hockey nerds go off on your
I'm
team.
not a hockey nerd.
And I got to sit this out.
I am.
This is my hockey. This is my hockey expertise for the year. Somebody asked me to join a hockey fantasy league, and I was like, "Sure." I don't really watch, and they're like, "But we need players. It's cool if you want to." I was like, "Fine." I'm in second place.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's how it goes, though, isn't it? In fantasy, right? Isn't it the person that like doesn't know much that ends up like having a great team, and you're like, what the hell?
I was like, this guy's name.
You're not picking with your heart.
Exactly. You're just going, oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Strictly numbers. I'm like, this
You're
guy
just going strictly by numbers, which is in fantasy what you should be doing.
which
but
you
Matt
would
Spencer
think
said, like,
I wouldn't be good at.
it could be the 4th round in a fantasy draft, and there could be 6 players better than an Edmonton Oiler, and Spencer might go, no, I want the Oiler on my team.
That's exactly.
So I'm taking the Oiler that I probably could have got 2 rounds from now, but because I don't want to not have him, I'm taking him.
Well,
you know, and that's what it is.
Now, I mean, brother, good to see you.
But anyway, yeah, glad you're here. I always look forward to when we can start chatting. We have Dustin popping in. We got Reese, our friend Reese. WrestleMania. Go give that man some love. He is fantastic.
He did. The boss did debut in AEW.
Yeah, he says, I can't believe the boss Spencer
it was a long
last night. What a surprise.
Yeah, Boston's a lovely city. I haven't been there before, but it was nice. It was nice. It was nice to get out there.
Yeah. All right, well, let's start with that. I know we're going to dive into LPW for a good chunk of this chat here, but that is the news. I was there. I was in the building. If my voice sounds a little hoarse, it's because I was screaming for hours on end. But last night was AEW Big Business from the TD Garden in Boston.
Yeah.
And Mercedes Moné, like everyone knew and speculated and all this stuff, she showed up and they treated her like she was a superstar, as they should. She opened the show, had a great emotional promo to start the show. The women, Willow Nightingale and Riho, ended up main eventing that show that had a world title match on it. It had Okada and the Bucks on it, Jay White and Darby, and Sasha kind of there we go. There's the first of many. Mercedes booked the show. Mercedes bookended the show. She opened and closed, and they made her look like, which I think she is, the biggest signing in the history of the company. How'd you think it went? How'd you think it came off? In the building, that pop was loud as hell. That pop was loud as hell. And the CEO chant was over immediately. And yeah, man, it was just a good moment. It was just a really cool moment. And the way she tied in Boston, she mentioned chaotic wrestling in North Andover, Massachusetts. And it really was, it was a very good vibe in the building last night. It was awesome.
PLUGGO?
No, you're the guest. I was going to let you just go.
I was scared you were frozen. You looked enthralled.
I was just last week we did this and JPJ went on like a 3-minute rant. It was like, John, he's like, PLUGGO, you go first. I just sat there. It's like,
I don't think that was a rant. I think it was well put. Like,
no, not this.
It was excellent. Like JPJ, that pop, that reaction totally came across on TV. It was just cool to see. You know, she was going to get a great reaction wherever she was going to go. I love the fact that she came out. I thought the promo was fantastic. I thought that she tied it right back to Willow really, really well. Like, I love the way they debuted her, especially for me. Long term, I think the money with her right off the bat is going to be her and Willow getting into it and working. Working as a heel rather than a baby face. She's just going to get cheered right off the bat, right? So, man, I thought it was excellently done, like genuinely. And I know it was pretty well the exact same thing they did with CM Punk, but like it felt very CM Punk-esque in the sense that like, well, exactly. Like you can make anybody a star in professional wrestling if you try and put enough effort behind them. But like, man, there's some people who just naturally have it. And Mercedes Moné is a star. Really,
I agree.
That's really all there is to it.
Unlike everybody in my mentions today, disagreed over on the Facebook, but super awesome. I enjoyed it. I knew she was coming, but I popped just as big when I saw it, and I was like, all right. And I was like, Owen, you got to be quiet. I got to hear what Sasha said. You got to be quiet. Stop playing around. And he was like, what? I was like, it's Mercedes Moné, dude. Be quiet.
Settle down.
But he was excited. He was excited. I was excited. It was good, and it was well done, well presented. I liked how they then had her throughout the show talking to Riho. Then she comes out at the end and she kind of, she saves Willow, but there's still that, like, I want to see that match. I want to see that rematch.
And she said it. They have unfinished business. She got
unfinished business.
They couldn't finish the match proper.
Big business.
That's a money match. That's a money match. And Yeah, and it shows that, you know, like Spencer said, long term, like she's not going to be right away in the title picture. She's going to do some other things and do, I think, the Willow angle and the unfinished business angle there. It's a perfect way. It's a big, if they do that first, who knows? But like, you got some big opponents for her already. Serena Deeb has teased, I'm the final boss. And I have, you know, like there's already some cool matchups you can get right off the bat with Mercedes before it becomes inevitable that, like, okay, she needs to be involved with the women's title picture here because she's the biggest star here. You know what I mean?
Well, and for me, like, I really hope, and this is by no means a slight, but I hope that she doesn't go after the TBS championship first. Like, I hope the feud with Willow's there. I hope, like you say, she's outside of a title picture for a bit, because for me, it's like she's the, I hate the phrase, but like the main women's title should be her goal right off the bat, because you look down the bat, whether or not it's her and Toni Storm, or personally, whether or not it's her and Deonna Purrazzo is like the first person who steps to her, that is going to be excellent, regardless of which way it goes, right? The character
100%.
work on each is going to be fantastic. Fantastic, right?
100%. And then, like, AEW in general, this, I feel like the last 2 to 3, 4 months, they have really, you've noticed the change on how they've been treating the women's division. There's a lot more than one you know, there's a lot of shows now that have more than one match. It's not just at 9:30 in the morning. 9:30 p.m. slot. Last night they main evented, you know, things like that. And they bring in Deonna Purrazzo a couple months ago. You now have Mercedes Moné. You still have Britt Baker, who hasn't been on television in 5 or 6 months. You still have Jamie Hayter. You still have these people coming where hopefully by the, you know, couple months from now, by the end of this year, you're like, holy moly. Now we have all these pieces that, you know, the women, and, you know, and I'm sure when Mercedes was talking to Tony, when she was in talks, she was like, if I'm coming to you, this needs to be better. This needs to be better. And we've seen it. And now she's here. And from the night one, and it is night one, but the women were littered throughout that show last night. And
I haven't read I haven't read the full article yet. Sports Illustrated, I think, put a piece out. I've just sort of started to see some quotes popping up there on socials, but just seeing like her quotes already on like the women's division is why I'm here. I'm going to make this a global takeover. You know, a lot of it's obviously just not hyperbole, but a lot of it's speaking in just pro wrestling terms, biggest show ever, this sort of stuff. But I don't doubt that that's the intention. And like you say, over the last few months, whether it's Deonna, like her feud with Toni Storm has really been a focal point of not just the women's division, but AEW TV. And by no means is it a slight, but yet you haven't had that with the women's title for quite some time, really, you know. I'm really, really excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah, and she's shown that she's willing to stand up for what she believes in. So if she doesn't think that the creatives go in the way it needs to go, she'll probably say something, I would imagine. And then if you're Tony Khan, you can't have another big free agent signing like this one, you know, be disgruntled and want to leave. So I think he's going to do what he needs to do. Yeah, it started
like CM Punk. You don't want it to end like CM Punk.
Right. Exactly. So you definitely want to nail this one.
Oh, that was low-hanging fruit.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine. You knew everybody knew what they were getting when you signed CM Punk. You knew this was possible. You knew it was a possibility. Hell, he's in WWE now and he's injured, but everybody was saying, well, what if he doesn't get that spot at WrestleMania? His tune might change. So I'm just saying with Mercedes, you definitely want to keep knocking it out of the park and make this, I don't want to say stick, as that seems like aggressive, like make it stick. Or you want it to be a success. You want people to, and you want all the promises she made yesterday, global takeover, to make this women's division as big as it's ever been. And it's trending in the right direction. I say keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
She's a big enough star that you could do a women's pay-per-view around her if you wanted to.
You probably could. Ophelia said she's been on the payroll for a few months or so, so she likely had her hand in some of the changes, most likely. Yeah, if they got her in early, I bet you she was involved in maybe creative or just involved in the room of talking things through or something like that. But yeah, I thought it was perfectly done the way it went down.
The business was big and the show was bigger.
I thought the show was big. They had you had a world title match that I thought was solid with Joe and Wardlow. You had the 6-man with Okada and the Bucks, who you know, that I'm loving it.
Are
I'm
clicking already.
Oh my
I'm
God,
so
loving
happy
it.
Pac's back.
Oh my God,
Loving,
yeah,
loving all of the elite, but like, let's just take a second and talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
Pac being back.
Yes, love us some
It was
Pac.
incredible.
Hopefully he stays healthy because he needs a really, really awesome run.
Yeah, it was glad
Yeah.
to see him back. That match was great. I thought Darby and Jay White was really, really good. The last time we'll probably see Darby for a while with the thing that happened.
How is he
afterwards.
gonna climb Mount Everest all banged up like that?
I was yelling from my seat. I was like, "Yo, I'm like,
one
he
foot at
needs
a
to
time.
climb Everest.
I guess
One step at
I
a
was
time.
like, he needs to climb Everest."
he can barely
I
get
have
to
no
the
doubt
ring.
Darby Allin can do anything at this point. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I worry for him. I've been worrying for Darby Allin since day one.
Darby, we're worried. Absolutely, I get it, but we've got to trust them.
I
Got to trust young Darby, Pluggo.
I trust. I trust young Darby more than I trust this Jericho hook BS that they keep putting on my screen.
Well, they're fighting each other now next week, Pluggo. So now it's a one-on-one battle. So you get to at least root against Chris Jericho.
Good. Keep him
I bet you
away
they're going
from
to
my dear
be.
sweet
I
hook.
bet you they're going to be in the tag tournament.
You think so?
Yeah.
Jericho?
Yeah.
I refuse to get behind that.
Yeah.
Fair, but
you know,
they're going to be in the tag tourney.
I just love me some hook.
And they're going to beat like Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett in the first round.
I don't want any part of that.
That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do.
That'll be the I gotta go to the bathroom. I've got. Oh shoot! I got to rearrange the spice rack during that match. Darn!
That is just what I believe is going to happen. I didn't say it's what I want to happen.
I think it's what you want. You're rooting for the chaos.
Don't tell me what I want. What I really, really want.
Oh, I'll tell you what you want. What you really, really want. Did
Like
you see that? Did I see that the Spice Girls are going on a reunion tour?
Is that true?
I saw that.
Pops up every few years, so it may
okay.
But
Maybe
it
was
popped up a few times.
I mean, shoot, NSYNC's making a comeback.
NSYNC did one song for Justin Timberlake, and that's because he's trying to get himself out of hot
That's
water.
more.
Britney.
That's more than they've done.
Timberlake's stock has never been lower, so he's like, "How do I get the people back? I'm going to go sing Bye Bye Bye." That's what I'm going to do.
That's exactly it.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go sing Bye 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 and do some dancing, and the people will love me again.
I'm just happy that we got some JC Chazé back on our in our world.
Never complains. Lance Bass is an astronaut. You think?
I was going to say Lance Bass has been in space.
If Lance Bass can go to space, Darby can climb Everest. I'm in on that.
He's pretty objectively the coolest.
Yeah,
Dustin
saying to ask Jared Rogers.
Spice Girls -2 girls. See, I don't even know if that counts. I don't know. It's a weird balance.
Oh, so not all of them are doing it.
Yeah, Victoria wouldn't be there. I would have to assume.
I was going to say
hasn't done anything for a long
time.
Posh Spice is
I'm up here now, guys. I'm
with
Beck.
Like Posh.
We're up here. We're up here.
Yeah, I don't need this.
Posh hasn't. I don't think Posh has performed with them since the London Olympics. And
that's fair. That's fair. Who's the other one that's not doing it? Baby.
Ophelia, this is 1999. Duh.
Wait, New Kids on the Block have a Snoop? No, they don't. That's true. They're from Boston. I feel like I would know this. I would know.
What did I do?
Scary
Spice.
All right. Scott,
you started this, Spencer.
Is Scary still a judge on America's Got Talent? That's fine.
Yeah, that's where she. Yeah.
I'm fine with starting that.
It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no. No, that's Randy Jackson.
That was absolutely dreadful.
That was Randy Jackson. In the words of the great Randy Jackson, that's going to be a no for me, dog.
That's it.
It's going to be a no for me. I pull that out every so often at work, and it gets a good round. It gets a good round. New album called Still Kids. No, they are not. They are not kids. They're older than me. They are not kids.
Yeah, I was gonna say those dudes are like 57.
Definitely not kids. That is a weird name.
Doesn't it contradict itself calling it Still Kids if they're the new kids still on the block? It's like new kids. It's like when you say something's new and improved. Like it can't be both. You know what?
It's a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat.
You can't be new kids and still kids.
Still,
you can't be 57 and still calling yourself still kids.
Do they mean at heart? Because I feel like if they meant that, they should have just put the album should have been called "Still Kids at Heart." That should have been the album.
What's that Steve Buscemi meme where he's like,
Bow Wow. Like if Bow Wow did an album called "Still Lil," you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. That'd actually be all right. I think that would work better than Still Kids, but it still would.
Remember when Bow Wow was supposed to fight Jade Cargill? Good times.
Remember that?
Remember when Bow Wow said that he was flying a private jet, and then somebody took a photo of him in the flying
Coach?
commercial? Yeah, exactly. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like
That's
don't
not
claim
his
you're-
fault. Jermaine Dupri probably kept some of his money.
Jermaine Dupri was on the Super Bowl halftime show. So
That's true.
that's
That's true.
That's
Bow
what
Wow
Jermaine
wasn't
Dupri
on
was
the
doing
Super
this
Bowl
year.
halftime show.
Yeah, well, it's because
unbelievable.
it's probably because Jermaine was like, "Are you really gonna go fight Jade Cargill in AEW, or are you gonna do like music?" And he's like, "I'm gonna go do this fight," and then it never happened. And Jermaine's like, "Missed your chance. Sorry, dude."
All right, well, I'm gonna go and do the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, bro.
Cool.
Party's full.
Woof,
Unbelievable.
literally.
Unbelievable. One last thing on Dynamite last night. That Will Ospreay fella is quite over.
He's a pretty good professional wrestler.
I knew he was a pretty good professional wrestler. I did not know he was as good a promo as he is.
Bruv.
Our wrestlers
That was a
all
good one last
encapsulating. You have to be good at
Yeah,
it. Like he's
You do.
I don't know.
You
He's
do.
excellent.
he's
He's
You
excellent.
have to be good. You have to be good at promos to be a wrestler.
to be a good wrestler. I mean,
I,
to be
I believe
considered
so.
best in the yeah.
Sometimes
considered one of
promos
the
are
best
more
in the
important
world.
than like actually being good at wrestling.
There's some bad promos in the world.
Of course, there's some bad promos in the world. There's some bad wrestlers in the world.
Yeah,
But there's
you're not
gotta
gonna
there's
be-
got who's like there's gotta be a bad
who's the
promo
best-
guy.
Who is the best wrestler
Who's
was
bad at
considered a
promos, yeah.
promo
Yeah.
person ever.
I don't know.
Ever. Who's the top, you think?
The best bad promo?
Like the best wrestler of all time that was considered not to be a great promo.
Don't hate me on this, but Claudio
Wait,
back when he was in WWE, so Superman, not great. Cesaro is not great on the mic, but he's a
But-
phenomenal wrestler.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's my first thought. That's terrible. That's my
Tough
first
one.
thought because that is
That's a tough one, right? You have to think about it. I just sprung that on us. But like, if you think of, or in the chat, if you know, we can talk it through. But like, yeah, who is probably considered, who's the best wrestler ever that would not be considered to be a great promo? There are a lot of people, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, Spencer. And I don't agree with them, but there are a lot of people that think that Bret Hart wasn't the best promo.
Those people are wrong. Bret
I
Hart
agree.
was the first person to curse on WWE television.
I agree. Yes, he was. Yes,
That's a
he was.
historical fact.
Yeah, damn right. You're damn right. This is bullshit. I believe is
Yeah.
what-
Bret
he was
Hart,
not
like
thrilled.
Bret Hart heel turn, Bret Hart Canada promos were like fantastic. And again, there's
Oh my god, I love
there's some
I
bias
thought
there,
he-
but like in Canada, there's no prejudice. There's no bias.
Bret Hart has one of my favorite sayings of all time.
Put down, please.
As when he said, if they were going to give the United States of America an enema, they would plug the holes right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And that is still to this day one of my favorite promo lines in the history of professional wrestling. Forever it will be. Yeah. And I actually, oddly enough, on the social medias, on the
Yeah.
Twitter, I saw somebody sharing a promo. It was of late 80s or early 90s SummerSlam, and it was Mean
The
Gene,
SummerSlam.
Bret
Thank-
Hart, and
Thank
Mr.
you,
Perfect.
Pluggo.
The SummerSlam, and it was Mr. Perfect. No, it was King of the Ring. I'm sorry, and it was about how Bret Hart said that he would have rather faced Mr. Hughes than Mr. Perfect. Oh no, he would rather face Mr. Perfect than Mr. Hughes, and then they ended
Yeah.
up fighting, and all three of them, including Mean Gene, were excellent in that promo. They were just like, oh, it was amazing. It was
I-
Yeah,
amazing.
Mr. Perfect was excellent too.
Speaking of Mr.
Excellent.
Perfect, I just watched Dumb and Dumber before beer tonight. Excuse me, Mr. Perfect. Didn't realize you were perfect. Sorry. When he goes 9 hours in the wrong direction.
There you go.
These
Thank
were-
you.
You just went 1/6. You just went 1/6 across the country in the wrong direction,
Shove it.
Lloyd.
Chopping off
I'm
his heads
sorry,
off.
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah. Where's all the money?
Watch them
Oh,
burn.
that's better than money. Those are
Those are
IOUs.
IOUs, man.
You're gonna want to keep that one. That one's a
Yeah,
keeper.
You're gonna
That's a
want to
keeper.
keep that one. That one's a keeper. Oh, that's
I
a
thought
nice-
I did.
Where
I
you
mean,
from?
since
I
it's
could
so
go
fresh in my mind, I'm definitely upset that they put those guys through all that hell and didn't at least let them like keep the car. The cops are like, they took everything. It's like, come on, let them at least get home. That's dirty. Here, you got shot for us. Classic. That wouldn't happen in Canada.
That's true. In Canada,
Oh man. All right. Good Lord, man. All right.
So hit that like button, that subscribe. Share this out
10.
to your friends.
We're already
Let's
at
get
10.
to 20. Get your questions, your
Let's try to
comments,
get
your
to 20.
statements in for the boss. He's here. He'll answer anything. Maybe.
He sure will. He sure will.
He's an
I'll
open
answer, I'll
book.
answer most. I'll answer most things.
Well,
Yeah.
Give
Okay.
that. I gotta leave a little mystery,
all right.
like evolution.
It's a mystery, yeah. Evolution is a mystery. I
So
will
you-
say, I think that is the number one
Batista.
theme song of all time. That one for me.
Evolution.
Evolution.
All right.
Of all
I'll-
time?
Of all
I'll-
time.
I'll
That's my
take
number.
that.
That's my number one. It's my number one.
I'll hear you out on that. I've got
great.
no.
It's
I've
great
got no
song.
issues there.
When Lemmy leans in and he says he sings that line in this when he goes a line in the sand the first time. God dang, the way he hits it, it's like, oh, and the guitar riff. I'm like, yeah. Oh, well, we got to do it. Mrs. Pluggo's in the chat.
Hey,
Yeah, I'll have
Mrs.
to say hi
Pluggo,
to
you
Mrs.
just missed
Pluggo.
the boy
Mrs.
band
Pluggo.
Spice Girl talk. Hi, honey.
We
You
did. We
missed
were
it.
talking about Spice Girls for a few there.
Yeah.
And Ophelia says, oh, no, wait, hold on. Ophelia says, happy Pie Day.
What's your
What is
favorite pie?
best pie?
Pumpkin by like
Oh.
a country mile. To be honest with you, big
Okay.
pumpkin pie guy.
Pumpkin
And that's
pie's
nothing
good.
against. That's nothing against other pies. Like I like me an apple pie.
Okay.
Yeah, I like a cherry pie. But really, like a pumpkin pie is my favorite.
Yeah. Pluggo, what's your favorite pie?
Pumpkin pie is really good. Lemon meringue pie is very good.
Lemon meringue.
good
Or
pie.
whatever pie The Rock was talking about during the Attitude Era.
I mean, we can say we're past the 10-minute mark, but no. I'm just kidding.
Mrs.
The Rock used
Pluggo.
to say it all the time. It has to be allowed. It has to be allowed. Can I tell you a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown?
Oh my gosh!
randomly-
Start the movement, ladies.
What? What are we doing? What between
You
two
want
beer
shirts?
shirts?
We got to
What are
make
we
it
talking about?
I would
happen.
assume
No,
so.
we can
Yes.
make it happen. Why not? Let's have
Spencer loves shirts. That's what we need. Just
it. Ophelia said she's cherry bourbon pie. Cherry bourbon pie.
That's good.
That sounds
I'm a
fancy.
fan. I'm a big
Good
fan
call.
of the pecan. I like.
I'm a big fan of the
Some
pizza pie.
Pecan. Pizza pie. is a
Pizza
good
pie. There we go. But that's
Pizza
a whole
pie.
subcategory.
Pizza pie.
You
is a
really
good-
gotta break it down from there.
A couple
what I
weeks
mean.
ago.
Pot pie.
A couple weeks ago, when The Rock was cutting a promo before he did the final, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, he just randomly said, "Now go home and smoke some crack," and I laughed for 10 minutes. I
Was that when he was in
uncontrollably
Utah?
giggled.
I was just gonna say, was that when? Yeah, because he went
those-
off right off the bat, and he's like, "Yeah,
You fat
Something
crack
along-
smoking fans.
yeah," something along the lines of like, "Yeah, you are the highest users of crack and crystal
no,
meth
he
per
said he goes,
capita
"No,
in the United States."
Yeah, he said something like, I'll smack the crack off your lips," or something like that. He said, to
He
somebody,
brought up
"Shut your
crack
mouth,
a
daddy.
lot.
I'll smack the crack off your lips." I'm like,
He
what?
brought up doing crack like
Oh,
four.
He-
It's
times
like
in
it's
that
almost like
40-minute
he just
promo.
searched news articles in the area and like
Oh,
crack
so good.
bust was the first, and he's like,
Yeah,
they
how
all
does he
do it.
find that out?
Yeah, he's like, they all do
Amazing.
crack in my book.
Who does a lot of
Thank God it was
crack.
Salt Lake City.
Utah?
I'll go smoke some.
Yes.
If there's some, I was just like, okay, that's great. Thank you for that.
I was like,
Oh, it was
look,
amazing.
Rock, I know I'm fat. I got you there, but the
Yeah.
crack thing, the meth,
Made
I
me
draw the
laugh.
line, brother.
Oh man, I was giggling.
Listen,
I
I'm
was
fat. I
giggling.
get.
Oh,
I'm with
I think,
you.
I think Mrs. Pluggo agrees with my choice of
Pecan pie. Fun
pecan.
fact.
I say pecan. You can
pecan.
say pecan. Or
We've
pecan.
talked
I say
about this
pecan.
in the
if
past.
it's pecan.
I, for some
listen.
reason, for
Sorry,
my
go ahead.
entire life, never touched pecan pie. For some reason, didn't think I would like it. Don't
It's
know
one of the
why.
best. A good one.
Like
Pecan?
like 5-6 years ago, I was like, let me give this pecan pie a try, and now it's like a
Pecan?
must-have. Pecan?
No, it's pecan.
No, pecan.
Yeah.
No,
No,
you're,
but
saying,
you're-
look, it's
like it's-
either pecan
Listen
or
here, you
pecan.
Canadian Boston
Yeah,
people.
no,
I'm from the
no, like
Midwest.
JPJ's hearing me out on this. Like you've
It's
like
either
entered a
pecan
third
or
weird
pecan.
twilight zone of the
You're
pronunciation of that
mixing.
word.
You're doing a.
pecan pie.
So you're saying everybody
Pecan.
in the Midwest calls it pecan pie?
I think
pecan.
so. Yeah.
I need to know if this is
I don't
true
think
or not.
that's right.
What that? That's not how you say that. Pecan.
That's how I say it.
Pecan.
Pecan.
Pecan
Pecan.
pie.
See?
Now you've made me upset.
See? Mrs. Pluggo, I'm from the Midwest, and JPJ is right.
Like it's either pecan or pecan.
That last saying I cannot hear.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
No, you're not saying it that way. You're saying pecan.
It's pecan pie. That's what I'm saying.
You said it right there.
That's how you just said it. Pecan pie.
That is because we're saying it right. You had said it wrong for the last 10 minutes.
Are playing with my brain, Pluggo. Cut it out.
Which one
The
is
chakras are misaligned now. You've upset my dog.
Rip's pissed. Rip is pissed. Not cool, man.
Pecan pie. That's pecan. What is
There we go.
No.
Do not do it the second way. Don't do it the second way. You
Wait,
said.
First way, not the second way.
Pecan pie is the first
That way is correct.
Yes,
I said pecan pie.
That is not a correct.
That's not correct.
That is not a word. That's
not a
word.
pronounced way to pronounce.
That's right.
That's
She
not
didn't marry me for my brain.
It's all right.
You are very handsome. I will.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Handsome, good look.
She's
You're
got.
a handsome man.
Rugged,
But,
good
So I said pecan pie. That's wrong.
No, that's
right.
right. That's correct.
Pecan is wrong.
Pecan is wrong. If you're saying
Pecan pie,
it's pecan. If you're saying
Okay, so
pecan,
you're
it's
trying to say pecan like yes I can, not pecan like a con man.
pecan pie. That sounds weird to me. That sounds forced. I like pecan.
I'm furious.
I like some pecan pie. Some pecan.
You know what, Pluggo? I can't help you. I can't help you. Here, I can't help you.
I don't know.
I can't help you.
There's no way that I'm just the only person on the planet that says it that way. There's not a chance.
I'm not saying you are.
Well, apparently everyone in the Midwest does.
I thought it's how I pronounced it. It must be all that crack I'm smoking.
I was gonna say
That
go home and
must
smoke
be
some.
that must be the
all
that must
that
actually
rock
be
I'm
the
smoking.
issue.
I'll
That
tell
must
them
be
on
an
the show
issue.
from now on. I'm gonna be like, we'll see you next Thursday.
Now I'm
8
starting to
p.m.
believe.
Now go
Now
home
I'm
and
starting to
smoke
trust
some
Dwayne
crack.
a little bit.
Dwayne
Dwayne a little bit more.
might be on to something.
Do you know I share a birthday with Dwayne? It's true. That's a
Boom.
and
There
David,
you go.
and
That's
David
good.
Beckham. I share a birthday with David Beckham and Dwayne,
That'd be
who,
good.
ironically enough,
Well,
we had
maybe you
mentioned
can
them
hop in
tonight
your
already.
like birthday buddies. Maybe hop in your birthday buddies group chat and be like, Dave, I need you to talk to your wife about this to her.
Yeah.
Sting and Matt Taven and Bobby
I
Orr,
almost want to
actually,
call
oddly
my.
enough,
I
are
almost want to call my
big
mother
three.
and ask her how
here
she
you go.
pronounces it.
He goes, Spencer, next episode of Curtain Jerk, there's a question for you. The correct pronunciation of pecan.
It's pecan.
How do you
would be
pronounce
Pecan
pecan?
pie.
And see if they just go, oh, pecan. Or they say, no, pecan.
Pecan.
How do you pronounce the floating spell in Harry Potter? Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Leviosa. No, it's not Leviosa. It's Leviosa. Anyway.
There's a deep cut for all of you.
Pluggo's like, I've never seen Harry Potter because I'm sheltered. I don't know. It's weird.
Whatever. This is
you're
not. This is. I say what I say. Okay.
This isn't about the movies he watches. It's about the words he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Dwayne, let's talk about Dwayne for a little bit. Because I am loving. Now, how it all went down, I was very vocal on here about what the hell happened when he took Cody's spot and whether this was the plan all along, which I don't really believe, or whatever. I think that WWE has righted itself quite well with the direction that they're going. Like I'm enjoying what's happening right now personally. I love The Rock as a heel. I thought his new entrance last Friday was awesome.
Sick.
Electrifying.
Damn it, plug
But you know what else I loved?
That was
This whole time. It was very good. That was right. I let it breathe.
Redeem myself. Let's go.
That was really good.
You could do Dumb and Dumber again, and then you go and do something like this, and totally redeem yourself.
Big gulps, right?
Well, catch you later.
Cool. See you later.
See you later.
Those big gulps.
You know what I also loved about that segment on SmackDown last week was this whole time I have felt like Seth Rollins has felt like an afterthought. And last week when he told The Rock to shut up and he cut that little thing called a Mr. Midlife Crisis, which is 1,000 times better than Diarrhea Dwayne.
Was gonna say.
Should have went with that the first time, Seth. Love you still. and he told The Rock to shut up, and he accepted, and the way he did it, that's the Seth Rollins I've been missing. That's the Seth Rollins I've been missing. And I'm
wonder how he pronounces pecan pie.
Never know. If you get to interview him, you should ask.
I'm going to.
Enjoy when they don't.
He's talked about pie before.
He has. That's a true story. But I just loved it, and I am amped up. Okay. I'm very amped up for the tag match, but I am also, you have 3 of those individuals then wrestling the next night in big time matches. And like, I don't know, there's a certain level of me that's like, oh, like hopefully no one gets, banged up or something like that. Cause you're obviously relying on Cody and Roman to main event the show, and Drew and Seth is going to fight Drew. Like that takes a little bit of, cojones.
Well, I'm certain The Rock's going to be involved on I guess the Sunday night too. Like what are they are whether they win or lose the match there on the Saturday? Like what, The Rock's just going to be like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, I expect them to win, so it's bloodline rules and it's chaos, and then like that.
I expect them to lose.
Oh, really? So you don't?
I want bloodline rules. I want chaos for some reason. I just want it.
I think it's going to be chaos regardless, but I also think that Roman and Cody deserve a true one-on-one.
Well, I was going to say, like, I was talking about it.
And like, what are you going to do? Cody and Seth are going to lose. Like, Cody and Seth are going to lose the night before and then win the title the next night, or retain a title the next night.
Yeah,
got to keep them strong.
And again, my thing is also like, you would think they introduced the stipulation, so it's most likely going to happen, but you know what I mean, kind of thing. And it's like, and then people are like, well, The Rock going to turn on Roman and all this stuff? And I'm kind of like, hey, like, I get it. Rock and Roman is the destination here, and I'm cool with that. I'm looking forward to that. But like, I also don't want Cody to need help to win the title. I just want him to just win the friggin' title. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm overcoming this by myself and I'm winning the title. I don't need help from people.
I don't know. And this whole bloodline rules thing, I guess it fits Cody's adversity storyline, like you were saying there, Scott. But like, I hope it's not like this this tribal combat. Like we all saw what happened at SummerSlam. Like bloodline rules. If this just turns out to be Falls Count Anywhere match under a different name, like what's the point?
Can you tease a bloodline rules match, which in kayfabe is a new style of match, and not do it?
Yeah, pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but will they?
You know why? Because then you do Roman and Rock, because if The Rock's going to wrestle Roman, it's probably going to be in Saudi Arabia now. But you do bloodline rules between those two.
Yeah, because it's going to be for the head of the table, obviously, so you can do the bloodline rules. We got our buddy Josh Robinson.
Big star Josh
Robinson.
Poo heads.
Ouch. Hey, poo heads. Wow, that hurts my feelings. I feel you saying poor Bailey, where, that's the only thing that's unfortunate about it is like, a Rhea and a Becky, a Bailey and an Io, a match that might have main evented one of the nights. Now, Roman and Cody are going to be taking up the main events of both nights of the show. Yeah. So it's kind of, it kind of makes me feel like, oh, that kind of stinks. That might have been a different slot for, Dustin has a good question though. He says, if there's bloodline rules and shenanigans, not a question, but it would be really cool if Dustin Rhodes was able to make an appearance either as himself or Goldust.
It'd be cool. It's not happening.
I don't think it's happening either.
Yeah, I don't see there being any chance of that.
Spencer is being Josh. Well,
Josh does say.
Thank you.
So I guess me and Pluggo are the poo heads then. So great.
But you're like a poo head by association. Like it's because you hang out with me. It's not because you actually are one. They're just like that poor JPJ his star has to be hitched to poo head's wagon.
It's fair.
Sorry, buddy.
I feel you saying that she thinks the tag match should open night one.
I don't disagree, but like it's The Rock.
Yeah,
that's all I've got to say.
It's The Rock.
That's fair.
You think The Rock? I mean, do you?
The Rock The Rock is saying, I'm main event.
Yeah, let me. Yeah, like how Sting was like, I'm willing to go out of my back, and Tony had to like talk him into it. Do you think anybody has the stones to walk up to Dwayne and go, we think this should open Mania?
Yeah, and then Dwayne will go, well, I'm pretty much have more.
He's
power
like, are you
than
on
all of
crack
so
like the
shut
I was
up."
salt?
gonna
Like-
say he's literally no. That's
Yeah,
all he
He's
was
just
gonna
like,
do.
last time I
No.
checked, I can be in charge if I want. So we're main eventing. Shut your mouth.
No,
You know,
which is fine.
That
But
would be
like,
my guess. That'd be my
no.
guess.
Rock's
I
like,
wouldn't
you
be shocked.
smoking
I
crack
wouldn't be
like
shocked
Utah,
if Rock
baby?
and Roman are main eventing next year's WrestleMania. I wouldn't be shocked.
And Roman still
you know?
has the belt.
I don't think so. He better not. He better not. You want to see JPJ scorch earth. Have Cody lose again. Have Cody lose again. You will be scorched earth.
I want it.
Now I kind
I am in my wrestling chaos era. Like I just want
Scorch
pure chaos.
Yeah.
I want to
All
see
right.
I want to see Spencer Love do like this in the stadium where he's like, guys, live on report. Look at JPJ. He is burning down the stadium right now. I can't stop him. Cody lost. This is crazy.
I bet you there would be at least one or two upset folks.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or I bet you I would probably be in handcuffs if I was doing anything like that bad. I'm
feel
pretty sure
Yeah,
they'd
probably.
be like,
I don't
not
think I'd be able
outrunning
to live-
anybody. It's not like I'm going to be fighting, you know.
Yeah,
be
I don't
pissed.
think I'd be able to live stream
like-
that. I think I'd be like guilty by association.
Yeah,
in
that
some
would be
ways for not
yes. It
taking
would
any
not go well for
preventative
Spencer
measures.
if he was recording.
You would
what
need
I
the
would
evidence for
probably
his
be trying to
trial.
burn
Yeah, I
down.
don't think it
Trial of
works.
JPJ.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
It would
think
be
it
the
works.
evidence
Oh
that would
yeah,
put
and
me away.
I'd
I'd be like,
flip.
"How dare
Yeah,
you,
I'd flip
Spencer?"
on JPJ. I'd flip on JPJ.
Like,
So
come
quick.
on now.
He's a
Yeah, and
Canadian.
sorry,
he's
bro.
gonna
I would
he's
just.
gonna tell the
I'd
truth.
flip so quick. Yeah, I would. I would be.
It wouldn't go.
I'd
well.
be.
It wouldn't go.
Yeah, I'd be saving my ass.
Well,
Greatest day ever.
good to know. Now
I
know
wouldn't-
if
I
it's
wouldn't
ever-
flip on the
ever
JPJ.
in a shady situation.
Don't
That
bring
I better
Spencer.
follow all the rules. I better follow all the rules.
Hey, if we could survive Vegas together, I think we're gonna be fine.
It's true. It's true. It's
I think
true.
we'll be all right. If we can,
I know.
if we can stay out of jail there, we can stay out of jail anywhere.
Yeah. Speaking of, obviously WrestleMania is happening in 3 weeks. 3 weeks or so.
3 more weeks, 3 weekends until I see it.
Yeah. And you put on social media this past week that you'll be able to do some media and some cool stuff there.
Yeah,
and it
which is
seems like
neat.
a bucket list thing that you're able to cross off here. So just how are you feeling about that? Because that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'm psyched. Like, obviously, I'm psyched. I'm really nervous, to be honest with you. It's something that, like, even with the Elimination Chamber and getting the opportunity to head out to Montreal and get to do that last year with Zach was rad. But like, this is going to be the first time I've ever done it like myself, and B, like, it's the biggest show of the year. It's the biggest show in wrestling of the week or of the year, excuse me. So like, it's pretty cool to be able to be a part of that. It just
Yeah.
it's really
Very,
really
very
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. WrestleMania is going to be a big one. It's shaping up to be pretty good.
I just saw they announced tricking Carmelo Hayes for
in the
Stand and
NXT.
Deliver as well too. That's
Yeah.
official.
Yeah,
It's gonna
so
be a
that'll
good
be
week.
good. We got Tony D and Ilya for the title, which should be good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So
looking
how
like,
does
it looks
that-
like it's going to
how
be
does that
Roxanne
work?
Perez and Lyra Valkyria as well. So looking like that card's shaping up to be a good one. And the NXT has been good for a little bit here now, not even a little bit
Yep.
anymore, like for a good while here. But their PLEs that they do have are always top tier. They even have been, even when NXT was kind of iffy, the PLEs were always still very, very good.
Yeah, man. Like NXT, and by design, it ebbs and flows, right? Like
Yeah.
you're going to have periods where you look at sort of the golden era. I guess is the best comparison, where you've got a Samoa Joe and a Finn Balor and a Shinsuke Nakamura and all these sort of guys at the top. When they get called up, you're building basically not a new promotion, but you've got to build new top guys, and that's a process. So, like WWE, not rated in a bad way, but there were a lot of call-ups fairly recently, and there were a lot of call-ups right before they sort of switched back to 3.0, I suppose.
Yeah.
But like, it's been really, really cool to see them back again, because I don't think 2.0 was really good for a lot of things. Like, you see the talent that are coming out of that sort of era, whether it be Braun Breaker, Grayson Waller, or people like that. But I think personally, a lot of people prefer just what they're seeing on screen for NXT now.
I agree. But before we get to WrestleMania weekend, Spencer, there's a wrestling organization based out of Edmonton, Alberta, that is having a show coming up here next Friday, a week from tomorrow. Yeah. LPW.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Wait, 2 weeks from tomorrow?
Yeah, dude.
2 weeks.
We
get an
weeks
extra
off?
week.
What?
No, February is 2 weeks. Now.
March has
Oh, yeah,
February
it's
always
February
messes me
short, so March has 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
just
well,
kind of
I know. 2
nice
weeks
because
from
I get
tomorrow. No,
paid
it's fine.
3
Time-
times this
Yeah.
month.
Time
Yeah,
flies.
that's what I'm like, oh, I got an extra paycheck in March.
Let's
Hell,
go.
Let's rage, brother. All right. Anyway.
And then in April,
Anyway.
I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, then April was like, huh? Back to this normal bullshit. All right, anyway. But LPW 24 is coming up at the end of the month. And obviously all the LPW shows are just terrific and they get better literally every month. But we are also approaching the 2-year anniversary of LPW on the wrestling side of things. So it's kind of like, hey, we got another monster, big, great event happening, but there's a little bit extra to it because it's a big time anniversary with the 2 years. So kind of talk about, just how you feeling about LPW 24 coming up and just, I know it was a big goal to get this off the ground when we first started 2 years ago. And now 2 years later, we're bigger, better than ever. And it looks like it's just going to continue to be bigger and better than ever. Go ahead, Pluggo.
Before you answer that,
Oh,
I sent it to you today. I don't know if you watched it. We did the first ever LPW preview show as one of our bonus episodes on Beards. And the first question we asked was, well, how do you feel about it? And you're like, I'm nervous, but excited. I'm going to say excited a lot. 20, almost 30 of these now. How you feeling?
Nervous, but excited. I'm going to say excited a lot.
Well done.
Thank you. It's been wild. I really don't think I or we, even just as sort of a collective with it, I don't think we expected to be where we are now quite yet. It's been really, really cool to see the growth in not just the promotion, but each of the individual wrestlers that's been with us since the start. It's pretty rad. You can look at a lot of the people who were on our first show and our first few shows, and to see people like a Travis Williams or an MRB or a Zoe, or people who, obviously were already great professional wrestlers back then, but to even see the growth in them in the Canadian wrestling scene as a whole over the last 2 years has been really, really cool. And, I think there are a lot of great promotions that are a part of that growth. I'm really, really proud that Love Pro has been a part of the growth of the Canadian scene. And like you said, for 24 shows, and that's our 24 Friday shows. We're going into the 1 year anniversary on the Thursday night as well of the clandestine event. So this will be shows number 38 and 39 overall that I've ever promoted, so to speak. And I think every show in some way, shape, or form has gotten better and better, whether it be, matches that we've wanted to do, or stories that are getting told, or ticket sales, or like there's some metric for me that I'm like, this is proof that we're getting, like you say, JPJ, bigger and better with every show. So all of that not culminates, but a lot sort of comes to a head here at the end of March, which is
yes.
I can't give too much away. I'm still a friggin' promoter.
I was going to say, yes. I was going to say, we got a couple weeks to go. So some big things I'm sure will be coming out in future. But of the things that have been announced so far, or things of that nature, let the people know, like, what I know you're excited for all of it. Cause hey,
What are you least excited about?
No,
give us the tea.
Come on.
Setting up the ring.
I knew he would give us an answer, JP.
Setting up the ring. And even then, it's always like fun to do. It's just like
something that JPJ apparently is
not
too
a
big
lifting
for.
heavy things body. This is a podcast.
I was there. Spoiler alert, Pluggo, you piece of crap. I was there on Wednesday when the ring was being put together. I helped when I was asked to help.
Why is this a spoiler?
The Saturday morning, I did not get home until 6:30 in the morning. So you know what? Your boy slept through it. All right, that's what I did.
JPJ, right? JPJ went out and had a couple of beverages. They went out for some hot pot in the morning.
We did. We did.
I'm just saying, my LPW source was like JPJ is too good for ring crew.
No, that is not what happened. JPJ was out until the wee hours the night before.
I mean, that's now going to be the story I tell.
Yeah. And
I hope I am going to take on the revisionist history as well too. And yep, JPJ just completely
big time,
completely big leagued,
just
completely big league ring crew.
I said I'm the guest. I got to work.
Yep, and he actually said that he came into the rec room and he said to everybody to their faces,
right in front of him. I went over the sound
I am the guest.
I said, I am a guest. I don't have to work this week.
Attention, everyone! Stop what you were doing.
This is my vacation.
I am here to observe. None of that is true, by the way, for legal purposes. No. Just so Lawrence is covered off.
For when the autobiography comes out.
Yeah, when I can finally write a book. Yeah, ring crew. That's the only thing I'm not excited for. But I think I speak for 99% of people in professional wrestling when setting up the ring, and tearing down the ring is the least fun part of it.
Do you ever think the person that invented the wrestling ring was like,
yeah,
they got to put this thing
together.
What?
And even comparatively, like our ring is a lot easier than some other rings that I've helped set up. There are some that I dreaded having to put together, and at least ours is fairly for setting up a wrestling ring. This is the funniest thing ever. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah, he does. He does believe he's a piece of Reese Grease.
True. He walked in when I was being sarcastic, but he doesn't know I was being sarcastic.
But comparatively, our ring is like a lot easier to put together than some other rings that I've had to do, and it's still like obviously not fun.
I can't wait for the leaked audio footage from Tales from the Underground. It's just JPJ over by like the beverage stand going,
hello,
I ain't doing this shit.
No, but that's it. There's your hot scoop, Pluggo. That's my least favorite thing.
They show the behind the scenes of like them coming over to me and be like, hey, we have this idea, and I'm just like, no, bring me something that matters.
Did you run this by my agent?
Did you talk to this person before you came over and spoke to me and get away?
All of these are direct quotes, actually.
That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, that's the spicy gossip. So 2 years, 39 shows, you said, but we'll focus on the 24 that we're talking about right now. Who has been somebody that you've been just like, and I know it's going to be tough. Maybe you can have a couple of people that like you brought in the early stages, maybe day one, that have just exceeded your expectations. Because when you're starting it out, it's new. You're not sure what you're going to get. You're not sure who's going to hit, who's going to not. You have an idea, of course, but who's been some of those like, holy shit, like I can't believe these people are in this promotion every month. You can't say all of them.
No, I know. And you know what? I've really been putting an effort lately into not doing that, because I always hate as an interviewer when that's the answer. So as an interviewee, I think MRB and Zoe always have to be shouted out like that. Love Pro wouldn't exist without those two. So always include them in most of the answers I give. But a couple of people that like, not surprised, but like I have really, really enjoyed having as part of Love Pro and really loved watching grow. Mars for sure. Reed Matthews for sure. Pride. I've really, really loved getting to work with a lot closer. Bayrat actually has been really, really cool to really see. I much like a lot of the wrestlers, to be honest with you, but like I was literally there at his first match in Edmonton. His former character. I'll let him give you those scoops. But getting to that and seeing his growth, shifting characters and like I have really appreciated watching those guys. Like you say though, it would be really easy to highlight anybody that's been in. Everybody that works for Love Pro is there for a reason. We've talked how many times about the best pro wrestling is a buffet, and every single person brings something different to the table, personally and professionally. But I believe they're all the best in this province, in Canada, and whatever sort of boundary they choose to stick to for their own careers. I think they're the best within their own boundaries. But those would be a few. I really love working with all of those guys.
Yeah, and they're all great. And the one thing that I would say from actually like, getting to spend a week up there and be around 3 shows and all the performers, guys and girls and all of them, is the quality of people as well. Not only are they really, really good professional wrestlers, they're really, really good people. And like, I didn't need a bad egg in the bunch. There was nobody that had a bad attitude. There was nobody that thought they were better than anybody else.
Except
there
for
was
you.
none of that, except for me. I was the only one that was just like, what am I doing here? What am I doing?
Cheap, but well done, Pluggo. Nice little sneak in.
Yeah, that was
Nice
good.
little sneak in. That was you're on your game today, man. Nicely done.
What?
No. I tried.
No, but like literally, like it was true. Like everyone seemed, everyone was super nice. They were genuinely like excited to meet me. They all, they treated like it was just there's quality people from top to bottom, and like everyone's in it together. Everyone's rooting for each other. Like I said, there's nobody that has an attitude of I'm bigger than this. I should be doing better. But it just that, and I think that matters because I think that behind the scenes and how these people root for each other, and we all root for each other and things like that. I think that helps spawn the greatness that you're kind of seeing in the ring, and it all melds together.
It's culture building, man. Like as cheesy as it sounds, that's so many people use the phrase wrestling business as an excuse to give like a little loose handshake. It's a business. You've got to build a culture. You've got to have great people at the top. Again, I'll always go back to Zoe and MRB, but when you've got people like a TFA and when you've got people like Rich and Larry who are able to be there and sort of be at the forefront of a locker room since, again, literally day one for all of those people, Stephen Crow, when you've got people like that who, again, don't just want to, get themselves over, for lack of a better way to put it, but want to grow the scene and want to build, not just for themselves, but build opportunities for everybody and make Alberta a really, really great province for pro wrestling and make Edmonton recognized, like I've said hundreds of freaking times, a hotbed for pro wrestling. And you can't help but be inspired by that. You really, really can't. And again, that stuff passes down to, whether or not it's some of the newer wrestlers or whether or not it's some of the people who are even starting now to just train a clandestine. When you've got a culture that really starts at the top, again, easy is such an, it's not the right word for it because there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, but it's really easy to do great things when people pull the rope the same way. I really, really believe that. And I'm very, very fortunate to be surrounded by like-minded people in that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Pluggo, you look like you're interested to ask something.
I'm always interested. I always find this fascinating. So going into Love Pro 1 with Force Pro Wrestling, you were kind of co-branded. So you're working together with another promotion. No expectations, 24 high expectations. Which is easier to manage?
I think now that we've got a bit of a process down pat, I think it's easier now. But again, that's 24 shows worth of, chatting with people that are involved in the ownership or chatting with the locker room and trying to figure out what we can do better on the production end. Again, I think that every show, you can see the visual differences on the stuff that we put out on YouTube, or you can hear the differences in the commentary with Big Bad Boris and Dash. And, we are very, very openly trying to make everything that we do improve just a little bit every show. That being said, It's a pretty standardized process for a lot of it. There's just a lot of moving parts that go into a creative process, right? So I think now it's gotten easier because, that first show that we did changed the game. I had no idea in the nicest of ways what I was doing. And I was very, very lucky to be surrounded by, again, great people that helped make that, I think, a really, really great first step for us. But since then, I've gotten more comfortable. I think that everybody in the locker room, everybody, whether it be your referee crew or your commentators or the techs at the rec room, everybody's sort of figured out, not what their exact role is. Again, everything fluctuates every show, but how to nail what we need to do to make sure that our product looks as great as possible each and every month.
Yeah, I love it. All right. So like I said, there's only a few things out there, because we got a few weeks to go for the show. But of the matches that have been announced so far, first of all, for maybe anybody in the chat that hasn't seen them, let the people know what matches have been announced so far, and then talk about, what you're feeling. Obviously, I know you're excited for them. You're making these matches. You're probably pretty pumped. So let the people know about the matches that have been released and what they should be expecting from.
I would hope you
matches.
like these matches as such as we do.
Yeah, right.
Like
I do,
another
man.
day, another day in the office.
No, but like at the end of the day, as silly as it sounds to say, man, I've never understood this mentality of people who are like, well, you can't be a fan. Like, I'm a huge wrestling fan still. If I'm not pumped about the product we're putting out, what the fuck am I doing, to be quite blunt with it, right? So our main event is going to be Michael Richard Blaze defending the LPW Grand Championship, the brand new LPW Grand Championship against Rose. She's making her return for the first time since LPW 20. Zoe Sager defends the LPW Challenge Championship against Speedball Mike Bailey. That is going to absolutely tear it up. Ride or Die defends the LPW Tag Team Championships against the duo of Artemis Spencer and Nicole Matthews. And then T.Y. Jackson defends the Scramble Championship. That'll be against Rich King, El Assassino, Dean Richter, Jesse V, who will be debuting for us. And I believe I'm missing El Assassino. There we go.
And Shabazz and Barat.
There we go. I'm sorry. I repeated. I apologize. Yes.
No, I was like,
Shabazz and Barat.
Yeah,
Thank you. I always screw the scramble matches up when I'm on here.
So do I.
That just is what it is. Mark Wheeler's returning to Love Pro Wrestling this month for the first time since LPW 10. Very excited for his match with Lumberjack Larry Woods. And then, of course, the Thickness Reed Matthews is taking on the frontman Alan Angels, who's making their Love Pro debut. So we've still got one match to announce. That'll be coming out here in the next little bit. But yeah, even if you've only got those 6 announced, and when I say only, please take the asterisks on that very, very heavily. It is going to be a great card, and already is a great card.
How cool is it to have like Alan Angels, Impact Star, former AW guy, like calling out Reed Matthews on one of your shows, going, "I want that guy," because like I said it's the year of Reed Matthews, 2024. So I'm excited for it. Like, that's got to be pretty cool to go, yep, that's the guy I want.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, man. I think that, again, not to toot our own horns too much with things, but one of the biggest sort of tenets for us over our entire history has been, let's get our footage out. Let's make sure it's publicly available. And let's really show the world what Edmonton, Alberta, Canada can do. And it's been really cool to see that recognized. Like I said earlier, there are people who are going out and working in British Columbia or going down to the States or working with Prestige and Defy and some of the world's biggest independent promotions. It's very, very cool, though, that a lot of those big wrestlers want to come here, and we are starting to be sort of seen in that same light. And people want to come and work for Love Pro, and they want to work people that, Reed Matthews or Zoe Sager or people who, have really made an impact. But this is going to be matches. When you bring people like that in, that's going to bring a lot of new eyes to your product. And people like Zoe or Speedball or Zoe or Reed or Speedball, when he came here and wrestled MRB the first time, it's cool to get people like that. Wrestling's not necessarily a meritocracy a lot, but people who really deserve to have more eyes on them, in my opinion, when they get those eyes is rad. And when people want them to get more eyes, in the case of Alan Angels, maybe at the expense, but it's very, very cool that those people want to come in and like you say, are starting to call out a wide variety on the Love Pro Wrestling roster.
Now, Dustin says there's been 231 matches in the history of LPW. Rank them. Go.
Wow.
Listen.
How long would it take you to list off all 231 matches as the guy that
as a rank?
I actually honestly know to rank. I don't know. I bet you I could do a pretty accurate count though. I bet you I could. I've got a much better memory than people give me credit for.
I will say this, full shoot. Anytime I write an article and I'm like, Spencer, you're like, real quick, you're like, here's the answer of like, who wanted this and this and that. And you're like, got it. Boom, done. Yeah. This is their record. I'm like,
well, we've done again. It's taking a good job of our records, right? Everything that goes on to Cage Match or anything like that, I make sure that it goes there so that those are accurate results. Because even for me, silly as it sounds, when I'm going to look up a new wrestler, I hate when I don't find stuff on websites like that. So everything's on there. Like I said, all of our shows have been recorded. We've got footage of every event we've ever put on. So I'm really passionate about that. I really like, it's weird to say because I'm not much of a hoarder. But as far as hoarding media, I've kept everything we've ever done for Love Pro, literally everything we've ever recorded.
I love it. I mean, you should have. The library matters. And as we continue to go forward and grow, and there's, hopefully we're talking about LPW 50, and LPW all this, that library It's, it matters.
Well, it's
That's
cool. I can
the
go back
history
now
of
and
the
I can
stuff,
be editing. I can be putting, not just our newest events out on IWTV, which make sure you subscribe. It's really worth your dollar. And tune in live to each of our Friday night events. Then we host them at the Rec Room South Edmonton. That's neither here nor there. It's really, really cool that not only do we have all of our new events going on there, but like I'm going through and back editing everything so that at some point you're going to be able to view the entire history of Love Pro Wrestling on IWTV. And the idea of that for me, again, is very cool, given the fact that, I know a lot of pro wrestling promoters or people like that will say they do this, but don't believe them. Believe me. We really take a lot of pride in the stories that we tell. It's not just a month-to-month sort of thing, but there's a lot of thought that goes into what we're doing. And I'm really, really proud that people not only have the opportunity to see that, like you say, whether they're coming to the Rec Room or just currently getting into our newer matches because of or newer events because of some of the matches we're starting to put on. But it's cool people will be able to go back and see the entire history and watch the formation of the Rads as it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or watch the first few matches of what started the Intangible era or how Seven came to be. Like I love that sort of stuff because it's what gets me in as a wrestling fan. Yep. There's a lot of dream matches out there, but like the lore of Kane and Undertaker, for example, that gets a guy to dive in. I love that long-term shit.
100%.
I'm excited for the Love Pro Wrestling documentaries where I'm like, I was there the night Seven debuted and crushed on the scene. I popped from my couch.
You can check out our documentary, Making Kayfabe. For those of you in Canada, check it out on CBC Jam.
True.
Oh, I'm talking about the one I'm going to be a part of.
Oh, that's fine. We'll do another one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What's your favorite event you've put on? You got so many to choose from the Oil Rumble, which was huge, to the first one, to the second one. I could list them all.
Yeah. Oil Rumble obviously is massive. I think that one you've just got to say, that's history. That's history being made. That is the single coolest thing I've ever gotten to do to this point, to be honest with you.
So I can't remember. Did they call you and ask you, or you called them and said, "Hey, we want to do this"? And you were like, they said yes, or they asked you
us on it, which is really cool. But
that is definitely very cool.
Excuse me.
Roger.
So the Oil Rumble, the Oil Rumble, LPW 19, Speedball Strikes First is up there. Violence is up there. LPW 17. 11 was fantastic. I really loved 7. LPW 7 was really, really great. And Out Come the Wrestlers was fantastic branding.
Yeah.
I think, and then 4 and 5 would be up there as well, too. There are a lot of points that for me, like I say, every show, I think we get better and better in some way, but there are the points for me that you can really, again, whether you're talking about the shows themselves or maybe some of the backstage stuff that went into it or anything like that, there are points like all of those shows right off the top of my head had something that was like a measurable impact on our direction going forward. Like LPW 4 was Chelsea Green. That is very, very cool that 4 shows in, like one of the biggest stars in the world right now, chose to come up. She made her return to Canada. She had her first match in Edmonton in 7 years, like with us. LPW 5 having Willow Nightingale here and then having Rachel Ellering back in Edmonton for the first time in a long time was rad. LPW 7 bringing Gigi Ray into main event. That was like just a really, really cool opportunity. Again, and ties into a lot of not just our history, but like Alberta's history over the last few years. 11, Zoe winning the title. That was the culmination of a lot. Just a lot of different things. Again, personally, professionally. And then, 17, the 3 stages of hell. I'll put 16 in there too, because bringing Shaza up here was just a blast. Shaza and I had talked, and I know you guys I told you this, but like we talked for years about if she ever had the opportunity to come to Canada, I'd be coming with Love Pro, and making that happen was pretty unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And then I think
it helped spark one of our favorite little segments we've ever done here. Yeah, you bringing Shaza up the promo.
The promo.
Yeah.
I think it's still in our little
I think it is.
We can just cue it up whenever because
we might have it's still there.
I sit there pre-show and she's like,
still be there.
Sometimes
bitch.
Yeah, sometimes me and PLUGGO will just watch a pre-show some days and be like, this is fine. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
How has you say you? Oh, go ahead, JPJ.
No. You go.
I was just you've said a bunch of times throughout the this LPW history, like doing it for Edmonton. You want to show what Edmonton can do. How has the city kind of like embraced these shows as they continue to grow and you guys continue to grow? You got the West Edmonton Mall coming up that you've announced. Like, how is the city kind of taken to LPW as this new promotion?
It's been wild, to be honest with you, man. And like, Edmonton has always been a really great wrestling city. It always has. The PWA, for example, who I know I've brought up with you guys a number of times, but they were really the promotion that got me to fall in love with pro wrestling. Going out to their shows at Nate, which is one of the colleges out here. There were routinely 800, 900, 1,000 people at those. We had some big people come out. You had your Christopher Daniels and your Jay Lethals, your AJ Styles, Samoa Joes, Cody Rhodes. Like, this has always been a really great wrestling city. I do just think that, like, I think I speak for all of us, not just on the Love Pro end, but like as for all of Love Wrestling is having the content and being as out there as we are and being able to drive more than just, hey, we're not only, again, but only with those asterisks on it. We've really gotten into the public eye in a way that I think hasn't been done out here in a long time, if ever, really. And I think that has helped on that end because people see us online and a lot of people are just looking for a good Friday night out. So if you've got the opportunity to come and check out Love Pro Wrestling and, hey, while we're at our intermission, you can go and grab a drink at the rec room or go and play some arcade games or, you get a really great experience there. It's all cyclical is the weirdest way to put it is, you get in front of a couple of eyes in a way, like I said, with the social media, with the footage that we've got, with the graphics Zach does, like those really differentiate us, I think, as far as the promotion goes. People see that, people come and take a chance on us. And I'm just real confident that anytime people come out to a show of ours, they're going to fall in love. So I really think as far as our sponsors go, that's helped. Everybody that we've got, whether it be the Buckingham or Kuma or Anthem or the Rec Room themselves, like all locally owned, all locally operated, all Edmonton based. That's really, really, that's just cool for me to have the city behind us that wholeheartedly. And then, like you said, even Ophelia in the chat, like whether it's the Oil Kings, whether it's West Edmonton Mall, we've got another couple of things in the works that I'm sure people are going to be real excited to hear on that end as well. It's been cool to have the city embrace that because, again, I think that there have been a lot of great promotions, a lot of great shows out here. I just think that we're in a unique position with the promotion and the content end of things that we've got in front of eyes in a way that just is unique to Edmonton and unique to Alberta in a lot of ways.
Yeah. You know what else was? I know a couple answers ago you were like, "Oh, it's really, really, really cool to see." You know what else must have been really, really cool? Being able to book Zoe Sager versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, like, dude. Again, it's just like, well, and here's the cool thing, man. Like, man, these are people. Again, wrestling's not always necessarily a meritocracy. I really hated that press conference that they did, but that was a line that The Rock threw out there, and it's been like a brainworm for me, because wrestling isn't necessarily a meritocracy, but when you talk about people who like deserve a lot of opportunities, Zoe Sager is at the top of that list. She really, really is. And, every month she goes out there and tears it up. And you look at what she's been able to do with, again, Willow Nightingale or Vert Vixen or Travis Williams, like everybody that she's had the opportunity to wrestle has gone out there and killed it with them. And B, like has really showcased that she can do anything in the ring, in my opinion. Like you look at the wide variety of opponents she's had, and it's been really, really cool to see her go out there and kill it against, again, just such a wide array of different people.
So Judas Dickerus, man, match of the year for me last year.
Right. And I'm real excited for that, but it isn't a secret, I don't think, to anybody, but Speedball Mike Bailey, by my money, is one of, if not the best pro wrestlers on the planet right now. Whatever boundary you talk about, if it's on Earth, I consider them one of the best pro wrestlers on the planet. So it's going to be another new challenge for Zoe, but it's one that I know that she's just going to step up to and hit the ball out of the goddamn ballpark.
We joke on For Exposure, and joke, but are like half serious. Like when you're naming like independent wrestlers of the year, you almost have to call it the not Speedball Mike Bailey Award, or like wrestler of the year. You have to like, you almost
the
have
Bryan
to put
Danielson Technical Wrestler of the
right.
Year award.
Yeah, you have to like put him in his own category, and you're getting him at 24 for Zoe Sayer, but you're also, and that's where I kind of wanted to circle this back. You talked about the clandestine. There was the decision. Is it a conscious decision now to like make these clandestine? They used to be more of like the NXT, if you will, where you had some newer talent kind of working the way up. Now you're like, let's get Speedball, Nicole Matthews, East, West, first time ever. Let's put that on the clandestine show. Is there now a new focus to make the Thursday show maybe as equal to the Friday show?
I do still want them to have a different vibe. Like the best way I can put it is for me, you know, tying it back to what I said earlier about pro wrestling being a buffet at its best. That was a lot of B's in one sentence. But pro wrestling's a buffet at its best, right? And I don't want, regardless of who we've got on the shows or anything like that, I want the Thursday and the Friday shows to have a bit of a different vibe. That being said, you always want to grow. I've always figured that if you stagnate, if you don't try and chase new things or new opportunities or try and do bigger and better, once you stagnate, you're going to go nothing but backwards, right? If you stop a car and put it in neutral on a hill, you're going to go backwards. For this one specifically, just to be quite open with it, this is just a match that I really think not even think, I know now that we're seeing the ticket sales come in and the traction we're getting online with it. Speedball versus Nicole is a dream match. And that's a phrase that's thrown around a lot. A lot of the time matches are kind of undeserving of that title, if you want me to be quite open there. But this is a dream matchup. This is something that, you know, these are two of the standard bearers. And I keep trying to find new verbiage, new ways to advertise Nicole Matthews and Speedball Mike Bailey. But like, they're two of the best wrestlers in the world. They're two people who, you know, I don't want to say carried this industry for the past 20 years in Canada, but like you look at people who were making an impact outside of the borders of Canada, ironically enough, it was Nicole and Speedball. You know, you talked about great Canadian wrestlers, whether you're reading in the PWI or, you know, sort of people like us who pay a lot of attention to the independent scenes. You heard about them a lot, whether or not they were able to travel to the United States or not. They really, and when I say this, when I say they put industry on their backs, you know, there are a lot of other people I would put in that conversation as well. MRB, obviously first and foremost for me among them, but you know, they've gone out and sold out shows. They've gone out and really carried the flag for Canada. They've trained the next generation of professional wrestlers. You know, how many people have you guys talked to with the IWS or with the people out in BC that have talked about the IWS dojo or the Lionsgate dojo or the Clandestine Wrestling Society? So it's pretty cool for me that, again, you only get one chance to do first time ever. And for this to happen for the first time ever in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada is, it's pretty wild, man, and it is going to fucking slap.
Is the East versus West thing a big, like in Canada, like in the States, we've got LA's better than New York, yada, yada, yada. Is it really like a big deal up there? Like
no,
East,
not
West,
particularly.
Or is it just a good way to promote it?
I think it's, well, a little bit of A, a little bit of B, right? But
okay.
No, for lack of a better way to put it, no, I've never thought to myself, God, I hate the people out east. But like, I think there's a natural rivalry. You know what?
I was going to say, like, is it
really
a province
to
province
thing
kind of thing?
Well, somewhat, I think. I think that you always want to prove that you guys are the best. I really, really always think that. And humbly speaking, Alberta ain't gotten a lot of credit for that. So that's why we've showed out for the last couple of years. But I think it's nothing that anybody would ever call heated, but like, I think there's always a natural rivalry when you're going up against a different province or the best in a different territory or sort of the ace of another promotion, you know? And I think you can make that argument about Nicole Matthews and Speedball Mike Bailey about pretty well everywhere they go. Right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
It's going to be bonkers.
Dustin's saying, and it's just $10 for the tickets to the clandestine.
You literally will not find a more inexpensive wrestling ticket in Alberta. You can't.
Just $10. So affordable for the family, affordable for a group, affordable for, you know, it's very rare nowadays, especially, you know, it's kind of everywhere, but especially, you know, in the States and even up there, everywhere really, $10 is, you can't do a lot of things anymore for $10.
No.
So,
And that for me is really important, you know, and to be
Yeah.
quite open with it again, you know, our ticket prices are $30 for general admission and $60 is the max if you buy VIP. Now, I think that's reasonable for the product that we put out there. I really, really do. But when we first started, that was certainly a higher ticket price than some other promotions and some other places put out. And again, I can really, really vouch for the quality. You are not going to get better bang for your buck. But by the same token, you've got to provide something that maybe is a little bit more accessible, or when people do want to come out and see, but maybe $30 isn't in their budget all the time. Well, here's another alternative for you. If you just want to come in and check us out, find out what Love Pro's about. You know, I firmly believe our job as a promoter, or job as an industry is, again, as silly as this sounds and as obvious as it sounds, is get in as front of as many different people as possible. And if we can offer the opportunity for somebody to come in for just $10 and see what we've got to offer and have their minds blown by great professional wrestling and the great people that are part of our specific promotion, I'm confident that, you know, whether or not they're coming out every month, they're going to come out to that Thursday show again, or they're going to come out to a Friday show when they've got the opportunity to maybe spend a little bit extra, right? Like it's pretty cool for me that, again, we've got the opportunity with the Rec Room, and full credit to them for allowing us to. We've got the opportunity to do some pretty unique stuff with our venue. And this is one of them. You know, we've got two wildly different shows, two wildly different price points. The only thing that's similar is it's going to be goddamn high quality professional wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Hell yeah.
Pluggo, you got other things to ask? I'm just. We could talk about every one of these matches if we want. I have no problem doing that.
I mean, literally, the only question I had in my mind is, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's your favorite faction in LPW history?
Don't really have one. They've all pissed me off at some point.
Okay. Damn it! I was waiting for it. You sneaky son of a bitch.
No, but again, I'm you know, I've really loved. I've just really loved the stories we've been able to tell between the Rads, between Clandestine, between Seven. It has been, it's just been rad, man. What else can you say?
Yeah. Yeah,
I was waiting to clip. It's the Clandestine Society. Like, ooh. I was waiting.
No, see, they're the latest ones on my hit list. Do you think I didn't have some words for MRB at the end of last?
I gotta be honest.
On IWTV, you can check out. Come on, man.
As a promoter, as the head honcho at Love Pro Wrestling, can you talk to some of this talent about how they treat these LPW show people, specifically me? I get yelled at all the time.
You know what? And I think a lot of people have a very similar question, a lot of different ways. You know, Spencer, why don't you get involved in breaking up the brawls more? Or Spencer, why don't you do something about this? Look, unless it's a genuine issue to someone's safety, I really don't want to. I really don't want to. Look at me. Again, I'm a real skinny dude, and that's not my place. We've got some of the best people in the world at what they do. That includes our security, and that's why they can handle all that sort of stuff. Pluggo, if you're worried about getting yelled at, you were in Ohio or Mississippi or Timbuktu or something like that.
Wow, way to know me after 3 years. Way to know your talent, your content.
Southern New York. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about that. Long as they're not risking my health and safety, and everybody's going to go home at the end of the night, we're good.
I was real scared. It was right after Beards last week or whatever. I was like, JPJ, I gotta go get yelled at right now. And
you know what you did?
I saw that and I was like,
you went and got yelled at.
I was like, you did
go and get yelled at.
Scolded. He blamed me. He blamed me for this match that you booked. Well, the fans booked.
The fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And you signed it into. And I was like, I didn't do it. I didn't break Larry's arm. You did.
You did pick Rich King. And that's what he was mad about. He didn't say anything about breaking Larry's arm or anything like that.
No.
He was mad at you picked Rich King.
We couldn't go chalk. It's bad content.
I see his logic.
It's fair. It's fair.
Who's been your favorite person to yell at me in LPW history?
Oh, wow. Pluggo just.
I got the whole I got at least the beef with like half the roster.
Yeah, I think the Rads did a really great job of that for a long while.
Yeah.
Lately, now that you've started making official picks, I think the Bay Rats really stepped his game up there.
Did you notice he's losing every time I pick him to win now?
Yeah.
What's going on there, Barak? Let's go, buddy.
Unbelievable.
I think he's doing it out of spite for you, Pluggo.
I think so.
I hate to tell you, I think he's doing it out of spite.
He'd rather me get my picks wrong than him win matches. That's how deep it goes.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
You know, much like Pluggo asking, like, you know, the faction question and stuff like that. And I know we were talking about there were 231 matches and things like that. As this has progressed,
matches. There's no way you can do that.
No, I don't think so. As this has progressed from LPW 1
matches in
all the way to LPW
24,
24, along the way, and I'm sure you could pick literally 231 matches you could probably go gaga over. But like, are there any matches along the journey that stand out to you that, like, you know, not just when you booked them, but like when you saw the product and did we lose Spencer?
I always thought it was me.
Did we lose Spencer?
Did we lose Spencer? Oh shoot, it's not me today. I thought it was going to be me. I was like, oh no, not now.
No, it's all right. He'll come back.
He'll come back. Maybe he'll come back.
Great question. Maybe. That was a great question.
Dude, yeah, you were really cooking.
I was in it.
Well, while we figure out what's going on, Spencer, Philia said Mercedes and a plug for Dynamite were shown during the Celtics Suns game tonight. Mercedes is everywhere, as she should be. Big star.
She should be.
Get your questions in. If Spencer comes back, get your questions, your statements, your comments. He couldn't handle my singing, so he bailed.
But if anybody was like, I've had enough of these guys. 90 minutes, that's enough.
Yeah,
that's
he's
enough.
like, they're just the worst.
Like, they are just.
He'll be back into computer guy. It wasn't me, but I will say it is cool. He'll be back to finish this off. But it has been kind of cool because we were like, when we started this thing. Mm-hmm. We told ourselves, and we could tell him this, and we've told him in the past, like we wanted to be involved in the LPW side of things and have that talent on these shows and let them show their personalities here, because it only, you know, it's a win-win for all of us. We get to talk to really cool people. They get to show their stuff. It brings it all together. So we were the first ever LPW preview show was on Beards.
Sure was.
Things have happened where we've offshooted it. He used to come on monthly and talk about every card and everything, but then the clandestine stuff showed. So that spot kind of went away, but I'm glad that he was able to find some time for us. And then his computer died like a professional. Who has their computer crash streams? Who does that? I've never done that.
No,
I'm totally kidding. It's
never
happened. I was looking for some old clips the other day.
We had Phil Lindsay on, and literally during the intro.
Yeah, and you go,
like within seconds of the intro finishing, you disappeared. I'm just like, what? I don't even remember how I opened the show, but I think I opened
you did. You went.
Like,
you went.
I was gone.
This is how you.
Sorry, guys.
The show. Full
amateur hour here. Who crashes a stream with their computer?
We were just talking about it. You went like this. You went JPJ. You go. This fucking guy was literally here 2 seconds ago.
Well, I had it on full screen, so now
me.
I have it on like half screen. But Rip was laying at my feet here, and he had unplugged my computer charger, unbeknownst to me.
If JPJ
it was slowly dying the whole time. It was a matter of time, and
we were
there.
Ticking time.
Pluggo was like, who just leaves a stream like that? I've never done that. And I was like, you never have?
Never.
And he said that he was looking
I watched him like freeze during the intro.
Yeah,
he's going to wave to open up.
Literally, I was just like, oh, remember that time we've had
Phil Lindsay on for the first time ever.
We had Phil Lindsay on for the first time, and literally the intro song had like 4 seconds left, and Pluggo vanishes. Gone.
Just gone.
And I'm just like, all right.
He's like, this piece of shit.
And I came on, and I don't even think I did my hello greeting. I just went, this piece of shit. That's how the show started. This piece of shit. Pluggo.
Just bails.
I apologize. I apologize on that.
No,
guys,
you're good. You're good.
JPJ had a killer question loaded up, but we were just talking about the history of this.
Like I said, there are dozens and dozens and dozens, 231 really good to great matches that LPW has put on. But along the journey from one to now, were there any matches, whether it was you in the moment, just being a part, or just that like stick out to you as like, man, these
That you're
are
peeking
some
your
of the
head at from
some
the
of the
back.
best. You know what I mean? Like this is like special shit we're doing here. You know,
Our first ladder match, the first ever Grand Championship match at LPW 4 was really, really special. You know,
I filled
it was
that spot.
it was only a few months, but you know, the story we told there over the first 4 shows that we did between MRB, Randy, and Travis was really, really cool. I think LPW 7, Zoe and Gigi was a blast. Again, I really love being able to tie in a lot of like the Albertan wrestling history, not just really sort of started fresh from us. So I really enjoyed that one. I think that Zoe and MRB at LPW 11 was fantastic. Really kicking off the intangible era. I loved that match. The Scramble Championship match at LPW 14, the inaugural Scramble Championship match. I really liked the Fatal 4-Way, the tag match that we had at LPW 9. Now that I think about that too, the first ever tag title match. LPW 6, Clandestine Society versus the Rads. Yeah, I think that Zoe and Gigi in the 3 stages of hell. MRB and Speedball. Easy answer there. I think those would be like the first ones that really, really come to mind. You know, some matches that really helped us tell some stories. I really, really loved the triple threat that we had at the Oil Rumble. Again, not just for the match itself, but like TY, Reed, and Jared being a part of that was just special. Getting them being the first 3 people to make an entrance at Rogers on the independent end, I should say. But having them be the first 3 enter for that show was fantastic. Maybe a bit of a deep cut, but not even a deep cut. I really loved Mars and TJ Cannon at LPW 15. That one was a blast for me too.
The brothers.
Yeah.
You could have just said all the Mars the Specialist matches. He would agree.
Fair. I you know what? And he wouldn't disagree with you there either. And then another one that I really loved actually, Thickness and Michael Allen Richard Clark from LPW 13. That was just fun.
Yeah.
2 big dudes beating the hell out of each other.
You've named all these matches. You've named all these match types and all these. You have such a creative roster. And for somebody that's not done promotion until LPW, how do you manage like all these ideas? How do you tell like a Mars Specialist, like maybe we don't do that? Or do you just like let them do them and then just how much?
Do them.
That's just
pretty well everybody.
Have you ever said no to any ideas?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But there have been wrestlers who have also like convinced me to change stuff up as well too. You know, it's a creative process. It just is, and I think that you know on both ends, whether you're talking about the wrestlers or myself or anyone else that gets involved, referees, whomever, like we're all doing each other a disservice if we don't sit there and try and figure out you know the best possible product that we can put on. You know, nobody's ever like. The best way I can put it is like people have changed my mind on like, well, let's do this versus this or this versus this. But like at the end of the day, we've all pretty well left every, you know, match conversation, anything like that. Like everybody leaves aligned, you know, we're all here looking again to pull the rope the same way. And I think that that's been hugely, hugely important for us as a promotion is we're all like-minded and that, again, I can't put it a better way. And it sounds so cheesy when you're speaking in the wrestling sense of like, nobody's here to just get themselves over, but like everybody's here to get over because we put on an excellent product, excellent matches, and get everyone over because a rising tide raises all boats, right? How many times have you guys heard me say that?
Yep. Sure. We got Dustin saying MRB versus Speedball was outstanding.
I just had to know because Mars tries to convince us that he should win every match on the cards. All the cards, every match on. I'm talking the whole card. So I just love an idea of him coming into your office being like, Spencer, here's my idea today. I'm gonna win everything at LPW 24, and you just being like, Mars, come on.
No, thankfully, nobody's ever done that.
So he's been lying to us over there at these LPW preview shows, telling us that he's winning everything.
Oh, him thinking he'll win everything? Cool. Mars is a winner. Like, that's all there is to it, man.
I love Mars. He's the
man,
best.
one of my favorite pro wrestlers, one of my favorite people out there.
Yeah, Mars rules.
Yeah, Mars is a good one.
I would
Except
love
when
to
he
be
when he used to jump in our streams unasked.
That's my favorite Mars.
The
I don't like
nerve. The nerve of anyone to do that. The nerve.
He's done it from my own house, dude. How do you think I feel?
I know.
I prefer unannounced Mars more than I prefer announced Mars, if that makes sense. Like,
all right,
he's like, I heard my name, I'm popping in.
That's true. Sometimes it's like, I heard my name, Mars, and he just appears, and it's like
that's what we were saying, that while your computer died, that was kind of a cool tie back for just us on a content side. Is like, when this started, we were the first LPW preview you did on this with us, and then like we've had a pretty open door policy with any LPW talent, and like they all love working with us, or at least that's what they tell us, and then we all love having
They were talking
them on.
trash about you the whole week I was up there, though, so I think
that's true. I heard all about it.
Yeah.
You don't think I heard they were like,
I had to be a lot of defending. I had
a couple of them go.
A lot of apologies. JPJ sounded more Canadian than most of us did. Guys, I'm sorry for
like,
PLUGGO.
hey, listen,
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for PLUGGO.
So they're lying.
I'm sorry.
No, the thing that actually shocked people the most was that you and I have never met in person. Like, I feel like everyone just assumed that we knew each other like in person, like on that. And I was like, no, I literally have never met PLUGGO.
That was one of the biggest compliments I think I got with this show. Was like early on, there was like, don't you guys have to be best friends, right? I was like, no, we've never met.
Yeah, and like
when
he's
I was from Boston,
them, and they were like genuinely asking about you, and I was like, yeah, and they were like, oh, cool.
So they lied to me, and
I've never met him, and they were like, what? And I'm like, literally, I've never met him in person. Now it's different, but the only person I've met in person now, being in Edmonton is a little different, but it was Spencer. Really, it was the only guy I've ever really, you know. And they were shocked. They were like, I cannot believe that you and PLUGGO have.
I was afraid to go up there. I don't want to get beat up.
It's fair. You probably would have. It was bad. It was bad.
I owe you a licking or two.
So let me get this straight. I get all excited and happy to talk to these people, and I'm really genuinely pumped. And they're like, "Oh God, we got to talk to PLUGGO." Damn.
No.
That's fair. Sierra's in the house.
Sierra's in the chat. Hello, Sierra. Always.
Hey, Sierra.
Thanks for popping in.
Get down.
2 years. Huh? 2 years is a long time. I just recently had my 3-year Love Wrestling anniversary. Slightly.
God damn, we're getting old.
Which is crazy. Yeah, PLUGGO, you're gonna hit your 3 years right around now, right? Like,
it's gotta be
time.
It's gotta be soon.
So you're coming.
You probably already hit it.
Yeah, maybe.
I was on that Power Outlets.
I was gonna say, because your first appearance was a Quizplex. One of our inaugural editions of Quizplex.
No, hit JPJ's.
No, mine was the second.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking to.
Yeah.
JPJ
PLUGGO, you did Power Out? Did you Power Out? And then
I did a Power Out on a whim with Zach. He needed somebody, and then I made it official after that.
And then you were like Mania week. You hopped on some stuff.
And then you started taking over as the temporary Power Out host.
Only when, and every time Zach was unavailable, they did a recap show, and I was like, "What am I supposed to talk about?"
Recapping the recap show. It's like the Talking Dead.
I was like, "This is fun." Did Zach know this was going on? But no, it's been crazy to grow with that, with Love Pro Wrestling and us, as like it kind of goes hand in hand at this point. Like we've had pretty much everybody from LPW on the show. It's been kind of crazy. Most people, I would say pretty much all of them, day ones. We've been yelled at them. It's crazy, man. Like, so of course, with any history lesson and any talk of, the past, what about the future, Spenny Love? What's the goal? What's your like dream, like scenario, like perfect, everything stars aligned where you see Love Pro Wrestling going?
Man, I don't know. And that's kind of cool to be in that position for the first time, because there's been a lot of stuff recently that has been checked off of sort of that goals list. I do want to continue. I love sort of the position that I'm in where I get the opportunity to both promote and still work on the content end of things. Like, don't ever think I take for granted the fact that I am in a real unique position as far as that goes. So I want to continue to grow on both of those ends of things. I'd love to continue to be Rip. You need to settle, baby. I think on the wrestling specific end for me, it's continue to grow the promotion. I would love to be trying to run some bigger events. Rogers Place is obviously very, very cool, but that wasn't something where it was directly the wrestling itself that sold. I had no hand in the ticket sales itself. So obviously we've got a really, really cool, really highly attended show, but I'd like to try out some bigger venues. I'd love the opportunity to, I think I said this even last time we chatted, but I want to continue to bring pro wrestling to places that people maybe wouldn't necessarily expect it. I'd love to bring it to some more music festivals, or there's a really cool art scene out here in Edmonton. So one of our bigger festivals every summer is the Fringe Festival, and it's a bunch of outdoor performers, and I'd love to get as part of that, or Klondike Days, or the Calgary Stampede, or stuff like that. I think it'd be really, really cool, because again, I really, really firmly believe that you bring great pro wrestling anywhere and you're going to find some people who fall in love with it. I really, really do. Not in a, in a negative way, I suppose, but like pro wrestling over the years really hasn't had the most positive of reputations. A lot of the people, and as much as we all love a lot of the content that came out of the Attitude Era or anything like that, a lot of it certainly wasn't, certainly is seen in a different light today is the best way to put it. And maybe not the most positive lights in a lot of ways. Right. So,
I probably wouldn't be doing this, to be honest with you.
Right. Like, it's very cool to be part of an industry. And I think at the forefront, really, as far as Edmonton goes, that it's really cool to be part of a changing industry in the best of ways. But a lot of people are still learning that pro wrestling is a positive, inclusive, kind, wonderful place. And getting the opportunity to get that in front of some people who, rightfully so, maybe aren't all that keen on, again, going and buying a ticket for a wrestling show or checking it out. Maybe if you get it in front of them in a way that they wouldn't expect, or where they wouldn't necessarily think, oh, I'm going to a wrestling show, you're going to find those people who fall back in love with it, or think, maybe it's not this dark, grimy, dirty industry that, again, pro wrestling certainly used to and still can be in some ways. But, that's just not us. That's not Love Pro. And I'm confident that, again, people see us once and you're going to again. So getting in front of some new eyes, but ain't that every promoter's dream?
Have you ever thought of moving it out of Edmonton? Or is that an idea? Or is it strictly like, I just want to kill it in this area and I don't want to branch?
We've thought about it and we've talked about it, but right now, number one, there are other promotions that definitely service some different towns, and I've never been of the belief of wanting to take a slice out of anybody else's pie. Let's grow a bigger pie, right? The last thing that I ever want to do is take money out of someone's pocket or make someone else's job harder. So yeah, if we can run somewhere that, maybe somebody's not currently running in, or there is a new opportunity for pro wrestling, cool. Right now, though, I do love the opportunity that we've got in Edmonton and really making this city a hotbed in a way that, lots of love to them. I really love the city of YYC, but Calgary has gotten a lot of attention for the pro wrestling scene for a long, long time in Alberta. And I want Edmonton recognized on that same level. I really, really do. So getting the opportunity to do some unique stuff out here and getting people to come out and see Edmonton for the first time and go out to West Edmonton Mall and go and visit White Ave or the River Valley or the Mootart Conservatory, like a lot of the places that are near and dear to my heart. I love that too. And I also think that you should always whole ass one thing, not half ass two things. So let's, I would say the doors are open to other towns, but right now I love being Edmonton based, Edmonton proud.
Love it. Love it. Hell yeah. All right. So
Sierra says, Spencer, you're amazing.
Me?
Look at that.
Thanks, friend. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Sierra's going to be coming out to Love Pro Wrestling Clandestine Wrestling Society.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's exciting.
Obviously, we've talked a whole heck of a lot of LPW. Obviously, we talked about AEW at the Jump, But if we were to,
talked about crack and pie.
We did crack and pie. We did talk about
crack pie.
We talked about New Kids on the Block tonight. In Sync, Spice Girls. We've been a little bit of everywhere.
We've been everywhere, man.
If we were to,
Johnny Cash.
I know. If we were to exclude LPW, what's some of the stuff in the pro wrestling landscape that you are really, really digging these days? Like you're feeling really good about it?
Man, I think the indies are thriving. I think the indies in Canada are absolutely thriving. So there's a lot of stuff, and it's not anything new. I've put over a lot of these promotions to you guys before, but if you got the chance to check out any promotions outside of Love Pro Wrestling, a lot of these promotions are also available on IWTV. So take the opportunity to check out C4 out in Ontario. Check out Crossbody Pro Wrestling, obviously run by the big hog himself, Big Ben Ortman.
Hell yeah.
Smash Wrestling out in Ontario is fantastic as well. Lots of love to Winnipeg Pro. Lots of love to Boom Pro Wrestling, NEW, and WrestleCore, of course. If you guys aren't familiar with WrestleCore, you can definitely check them out on IWTV, and you can check me out on WrestleCore on IWTV from when we went out there for our August Lucha Libre event. There's a lot of great promotions out there. There's a lot of great promotions doing just wildly different styles of professional wrestling, and I love that. You're not really going to find a lot of cookie cutter promotions in Alberta, in Canada, in Western, Eastern, wherever, just to make sure that everybody knows there's no heat.
And IWS is killing
I was just going to say, and then, of course, the IWS. I'm always going to take a special second for them, man. I love them.
I love them, too.
So them and the Women's Wrestling Syndicate, I think, again, it's proof that more and more great promotions keep popping up and keep sustaining themselves, that the business is stronger than ever. It really is, as far as Canada
100%.
goes. So, there's a lot of great indies, and to be honest with you, I'm certain I'm forgetting some promotions. 365 Pro Wrestling as well out in BC and Ontario. There's a thriving scene above the 49th parallel, and it's pretty cool to be a part of it. Yeah. A small part, but a part of it.
100%.
That's what I'm loving right now. Wrestling,
and I feel like
it's cool everywhere. AEW has been fantastic lately. I am loving me. I
said wrestling's in a great spot right now. Like,
the build.
Like the TNA rebrand has been fantastic so far. Just a real good time.
You got WWE building up to Mania, which is the biggest show of the year. So they're at their hottest. Yeah. They've been breaking records for a year and a half now. Like everywhere they go, it's the largest gate of all time. It's the highest grossing thing of all. And again, prices are crazy, but like everywhere they're going, they're beating records, and they're records in every city they go to. Mania is coming up. It's going to be, they always tagline, it's the biggest WrestleMania of all time. But I feel like this year they are really trying to make that the biggest Mania of all time, because I think they're really trying to distance themselves from a lot of stuff that was going on in the past a little bit. And they're trying to, let's look forward from here on out. And I really think they're going to do that by trying to have the best damn, like literally the biggest, best damn WrestleMania they can do. And, for all of us wrestling fans, like even around me, around PLUGGO, like we all have really good independent wrestling companies around where we all are, and supporting them and going to them as, I get it. Like, if you can't afford it, whatever, life is life. But like, we should all be making a better effort to go, because these people that are wrestling in LPW and all the places that Spencer said, and Beyond Wrestling in Massachusetts, and Chaotic, that Mercedes mentioned, and things like that. Like all these people wrestling there now are the future stars we're going to be watching on AEW and WWE and TNA and maybe New Japan and whatever. 5, 10, 15 years from now, they all come from these independents. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like supporting independent wrestling, and like Spencer said, there's a lot of cool ass promotions doing stuff that you don't really see on regular TV all the time. Like they're doing cool, fun, hip shit, and it's cool and it's different. And you're going to pay half the price, sometimes a third of the price that you're going to go pay to go see the other guys. And you might have a better time because it's so different and unique, and it's just a different feel going to a small independent show. There's no
form of entertainment in the world like independent pro wrestling. There really isn't. Wrestling as a whole, I think, but there is nothing like independent pro wrestling. Like you say,
Yeah,
you're up
agreed.
close, you're personal, it's greasy, it's criming, it's wonderful, it's fantastic, it's dumb, it's silly, it's soap opera, it's dance, combat, fighting, whatever, like everything. Tell me what it isn't that I just said, right? So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, be
100%.
honest, you two. Let's get to the real deal before we have a special guest popping in. How much Bar Rescue you guys gonna watch Mania week?
I mean, we
Hopefully I
spent
don't drink as much.
we
Yeah, hopefully
spent
I don't
at
drink as
least-
much as I had.
Yeah, I was gonna say we spent at least half a day watching Bar Rescue.
Yeah, and then I think
marathons
we
one
went
day.
and met Rick and GSM at the same spaghetti place that we went to the night prior. And then we went and rode. Well, you guys didn't, but Rick and I rode the roller coaster.
I know for some
I
reason I
regret
thought you guys
to
went
this
bowling.
day- I regret to this day not getting that photo on the Vegas roller coaster with Rick.
Oh yeah,
Very
fair,
sad.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd have been a
It
good
was like
one.
And then,
$40.
We probably want. I'm not joking. We probably watched 6 or 7 hours of Bar Rescue.
We had a tough couple days.
I don't
we-
like
we
to
had- we had a
fire
tough
people, but
recovery.
you're fired.
Yeah, we had a tough recovery period there.
I was
and,
overserved. That was the
yeah.
problem.
Yeah, there's really no serving limits in Vegas. They just kind of you just
And
kinda
that's
go till you go,
and
you
I
know?
was overserved. That was the
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, and we
I
spent
had
an
a couple of
afternoon-
beverages. I was overserved on those beverages, and I spent my next day watching people who serve beverages have their places of which they serve beverages rescued.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We watched it on a laptop computer, and then we watched NXT Takeover. I believe we watched that was
And
all the
I
same day. We just
obviously
kind of
lived
melded into
through
each
it.
other.
I got
We did.
through it. You guys?
Yeah, we did. We did.
We
We made it to
survived.
the other side, and I guess
You
at
guys
the end
are
of the day, that's all
survivors.
that matters. So
You guys are survivors. You ain't gonna give
Yeah.
up. You're never gonna
I
stop.
don't use the word hero
Work.
lightly, but
you're looking at two heroes. We got through that. You're
yeah,
looking at two heroes.
thanks. I'm glad
Like,
you broke that
listen,
ice. Thanks, Japes.
Not all heroes wear
Thank
capes.
you for
guys,
your
all right?
service, you two.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some of us just get through a hangover by watching 7 hours of Bar Rescue. That's how
It's
we
funny
do
you
it.
guys. It's funny you guys mentioned that. I don't. When my kids are looking for role models, I show them pictures of you guys. I say they survived
You know?
SummerSlam weekend.
You know?
Baby.
And hopefully they don't need this advice for at least a few years. But if and when they are inevitably hungover, Bar Rescue works great. John Taffer, that's a franchise, guys.
Yeah.
And this isn't even a sponsored
Palate
post.
cleanser.
Hey, Taffer, throw us some dough for this one, bud.
Yeah, bud. Hey, bud.
This is
We kept you. we kept you in
LPW
business that day,
LPW
sir.
sponsorship rescues Bar Rescue. That's the headline.
Yeah.
There you go.
Would you, if
Boom.
you got a
We're out.
sponsor, would
There
you
you go,
yeah,
Jeremy.
would you
Just
do a
did your
Bar
job
Rescue
for you.
themed? Would you do a Bar Rescue themed
LPW.
Bar
LPW
Wrestle
27,
Q. No, we can do it. We can do
something-
something there.
ring rescue or something like?
If only I can get John Taffer in as a
Yes, he-
special
he
guest ring
needs-
announcer.
I was gonna say, would you let him take one of the matches from you? And
Does he
special
do
guest ring announcer?
cameos? I'll get him on there to like announce a match
yeah, I
for
would
us.
think
Oh
he
my
Of
god.
course he
He has
does cameos.
He has
There's
to.
no way he
He
doesn't
has
do
to.
cameos.
You'd be like,
Taffer's
look
a
at
cameo
Mars, the
guy.
specialist out here, not
Right.
wrestling in a hairnet. What? This is disgusting.
I would want. I would if.
Is that a standard size pour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that were ever to happen, I would need him to be on an episode of like Tales from the Under. I would need him to just be on things like just yelling. at
Taffer?
people.
Yeah. Oh, we would get our
Like he
value.
would have to be yelling at the
Like
rats.
yelling
I
at
need him
Larry
yelling
Woods.
at- yes, I need
Yeah,
him.
we'd get our
yelling at
value
Dad.
out of my
I
good
need him-
buddy JT.
Yeah, I just need him everywhere. Everywhere.
I always
have a-
love seeing.
Um,
I
We have a
always
special
love
guest.
seeing
We-
Pluggo
bring him on.
read this
Well,
private chat because he leans in
I did
like
not-
this.
I can't see. I don't know
I did
what's
not
with
know
me.
this was gonna. I don't know. I didn't know this. was
Yeah,
gonna
the
happen,
private
but,
chat is small for
the
me.
private chat is small.
Small. Yeah, I'm
my
old.
my firmly AEW co-host Drew. It was for our Revolution preview. He had said during the Scramble match that if Chris Jericho or was it you? Were you involved, Pluggo? Did you set this up?
I was
Somebody
watching.
set it up.
All I was saying was I was listening to Drew rant and rave about how he didn't want Jericho to win the Scramble. And I said,
Correct.
if Jericho wins the Scramble, because he said he was sick of Judas, I said, if he wins, which he could have, you've got to sing Judas on firmly. And then he took the ball and ran with it. And before we pop on the screen, thanks a lot for telling me we're inviting our co-hosts of our other shows on. I'm going to get yelled at from Blair now.
No, we're fine.
'Cause I didn't.
He asked for this time. I said, come on at the end. I'll give you a few minutes. And that's
Well,
it.
here,
'Cause
I'm putting him on.
I think
Boom.
secretly,
Hi,
hello,
Drew.
Drew.
Hello.
I think secretly Drew. He didn't want to sing
sing.
Judas,
I
but I
think he
think
wants
Judas
to
wanted. Drew wanted to sing. So
Pennies
he's been
from
itching
heaven?
for a few weeks now to
That's
sing.
true.
So I think he has a special announcement. I don't know what it is fully.
All right. So before I get to the special announcement, I think that regarding your, I want to talk about two things. Firstly, regarding what you were just talking about a Bar Rescue Love Pro Wrestling crossover.
Okay.
I've got the answer for you. Okay. It's got to be taking from the very, very classic wrestling phrase of a few years ago. We don't just set the bar. We are the Bar Rescue.
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 Featured by the John Taffer
That's pretty
Scramble.
I am
John
putting
Taffer.
a cap on so I can tip it to you.
Yeah, you could
Absolutely
yeah,
done.
you could just say you could call it the one and only John Taffer Scramble Invitational, and he would
The
just
John
be,
Taffer experience.
Thanks,
That would be
Og Dad.
much
saying
like the
good
Viking
show.
experience.
Very
John Taffer.
informative. Look at us.
But
Very-
Drew,
Now,
you said you just needed a few minutes.
I've never watched Bar Rescue before. However,
What?
I've never watched it.
get him off the screen.
Oh, it's excellent. It's a good product.
I
Who brought this guy?
When I go to hotels, for some reason, there's always on the History Channel. There's always an Ancient Aliens marathon. I don't know why, but it's become the thing. It's just become the thing, and I just love that channel. It's kooky. They've got crazy stuff, and I'm like, hey, Ancient Aliens. I'm all for it. I'm all for aliens.
If we want to talk about shows, like, listen, I don't know why the government's trying to ban TikTok. I don't get all the stuff that they say we get. I don't know how I'm going to watch Hardcore Pawn at work now.
Hardcore Pawn.
Hardcore Pawn, baby.
Is that like,
Are you a
is
Pawn
that like
Stars
the one?
fan, Spencer?
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
the
say,
one in Detroit.
I like Pawn Stars.
That's the one in Detroit where it's
I
Hardcore
liked
Pawn.
Pawn Stars until I found out it was scripted.
No,
Yeah,
I just don't understand how this show, Hardcore Pawn, I never watched it on television, has somehow flooded my For You. I watched one clip and now I get 75 a day.
That's how the algorithm works.
That's how
But
the algorithm in your phone
but the
works.
government is
You've never
telling
been
me
talking
that
about,
I'm
like
yeah, no,
Reese's
but I
peanut butter
understand
cups,
that.
and then the next time you open your phone, your first ad you
But
get is
now
for
I'm
Reese's
like,
peanut butter cups.
But now I'm like,
coming in
whoa.
hot.
Hey, throwback.
Coming in hot.
Throwback.
Coming in hot with
Hey.
a big super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, wow, flash from the past. Look at these fine lads. Last night was amazing. Drew was right. It was a great time. How long does it take till CEO becomes AEW Women's Champion? Love you guys. Well, thank you, Mr. Throwback.
Good
We
to
love
see you, homie.
Appreciate the
Thank
super
you.
track. We love you too. Hope you're doing well. He said that he saw me last night.
I'd say all out.
But he couldn't come up and say hi to me because I was either on the move or was too. But he said he saw me. We were
Or
both there
all
last
in.
night. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be terribly, terribly long before Mercedes. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show. Before Mercedes is in the world title picture, but I think they set it up last night that she's not going to be right away, and I think that is okay. And I think it's actually good. I think it's
going to be
all in or all out, like Pluggo said, maybe.
Double or nothing.
yeah, but I think it's going to be Mercedes Moné is going to beat Deonna Purrazzo for the title.
It's fair.
That means
That's
Deanna's got to take it off of Tony Storm.
I
here.
think
I
she
can see
will.
it happening.
But while
Yeah,
that's all
good.
happening, you can have, like you say, Willow's going to feud with Mercedes right off the bat. It looks like.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah,
I think all in looks like a good time for it. And then if they're doing it like they did it this year, where it's a week in between, you use all in to bring Britt Baker back, and that's your
Or
main
Jamie
event
Hayter,
for all
if
out.
she's healthy or something like that. You can
Jamie
grab
Hayter would
either
be
one of
massive.
them.
Oh
In
man,
England,
if
if
Jamie Hayter's back, oh man, she challenges for the title. She wins the title
at All In. If she's back and healthy before All In, that's the main event. So it should be Mercedes and Hayter for the belt there.
Yeah.
And then the week later, you could bring Britt back because obviously she has ties with Hayter. If Britt's not back at that point, you could figure that out. Out, but that would not be.
It's a good problem when we're talking about
It's
the
a good-
multiple
yes.
opportunities
Maybe-
for the AEW women's
Yes.
division. I don't
Maybe-
think we've ever had the opportunity to
About
talk about the
time.
multiple. Exactly.
Maybe Hayter comes back with an X through a women's championship punk style. Like, I never lost this thing.
It's true.
They just run
She
it back.
We lost it.
Yeah, they just
We
go, hey,
lost
we
it,
didn't
but,
get to finish
she
that
was,
story with the other
real
guys, so
banged
can we
up.
run it with Jamie?
We were
Wanna do it with
excited
Jamie?
about this. We're doing it.
Yeah, it was going to be a really good story we couldn't do, so let's have Hater do it. But Drew, sorry, before we all say our goodbyes, because
Go
it's
back to
almost
the
that
man.
time, you wanted to pop in for a minute and kind of announce something, a little tease for this coming Sunday when you and I will be chopping it up on Firmly AEW. So why don't you give a tease to the people?
That's right. So, as you eloquently put, it was Pluggo's fault. He did mention, as many things are.
You know?
What is it my fault?
He did mention, hey, you should sing if Chris Jericho wins. And Chris Jericho did not win.
Thank God.
Thankfully. Although I'm not happy with what's going on with him now, but we'll talk about that on Sunday. So, and you know what? I was like, you know what? I do want to sing something. So I am going to sing on Sunday Judas.
What?
Wow.
Yes. Why?
Not the hero we deserve,
Why?
but the hero we need.
Please.
Why? Well, because I'm in love with Judas.
Wait, is this it's
Something-
not going to be the Judas we think, I think there's a catch to this.
Is there a different Judas? Am I gonna have to look up Judas Priest? Maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he gonna sing Judas Priest?
It's Judas.
You'll have to
All right.
tune in. You'll have to tune in
You'll have
Sunday.
to tune in on
You
Sunday.
heard it here first, folks. This Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drew is singing Judas.
I print money. That's what I do.
Drew is singing Judas. So
Drudas.
Judas.
Are we gonna get a little duet? JPJ gonna chime in a little bit?
I have to see how it goes because I think I think there's gonna be some chicanery. Yeah,
It's gonna be a run.
This is gonna be a dusty finish. I think. I don't know what's going on. I think it's gonna be.
I'm telling you
finish.
right now on this show, I'm singing Judas.
I'm not saying you're not, but I don't think it's going to be the Judas that I think it's going to be. Something's going on. I don't trust it.
Well,
but you better be in attendance Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Firmly AEW. We're talking big business. We're talking, there is no collision this week. So we're really just talking big business.
We're talking
and
big
Rampage.
business.
Ramp?
We're
And
talking
Rampage.
big
There's no
business.
collision this week.
I believe there is no collision.
What is that? What is that?
Wait, is there a collision? I thought I heard people. I thought I heard.
We're talking missionary.
Thank you,
talking
Pluggo.
missionary. We're talking the one where I'm on my back and she's on top.
We're talking big business. We're talking some business that's big.
Scott, that could be possible, to be honest with you.
Schmidt,
on that
dapped
note-
up the captain.
Well, now I have to. Now, can we clarify this? Now, is it?
What?
Is there not a collision?
I thought I heard there is no collision. If there is a collision, I'm fine with it. We'll obviously do that too. But I thought I heard there was no collision.
Hey, listen, I need you two to keep it down because I took a red eye flight in. It's still sleeping.
We need to go.
There's two totally different conversations.
We need to go. We need to go.
Right hand ain't talking to the left.
Ophelia corrected us.
Oh,
She is
okay. So
this
it's okay.
weekend.
It's next week. Okay, never mind. I thought there was. All right. So we do have collision. So we'll be talking. We're talking big business. We're talking collision. I was there last night, guys. I'm telling you. Try to watch Rampage. There were 3 really good matches, but Takeshita went up against Commander. You want to see that match. You're going to want to see that match. That was probably the best match that happened in totality of last night.
He sounded like a rusty sprinkler that went off for the first time in 40 years.
Jesus Christ. Drew?
You don't.
Thank you for popping in.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't have to. Don't follow me anywhere. I don't want to be followed right now.
That's okay. Thank you for popping in. I'll see you.
Okay, why not,
Sunday,
Drew?
Looking forward to it.
You don't want more followers?
Good evening.
See you, Drew.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, Drew. Love you.
I apologize for Pluggo, Drew. He's just inappropriate.
Right,
I understand.
It's all right.
It's okay.
But thanks for popping by.
Drew, it's all love. I'm excited.
Yes,
I'll
enjoy
be
the rest of your evening.
Oh, we will.
Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. He's singing.
That might have been my favorite plug ever. Don't follow me.
He said, "Don't follow me."
Is Drew anti-social media?
No, you pissed him off.
Yeah,
I pissed him off.
Yeah.
Why did I piss him off?
I don't know.
Because I made an awesome reference and you couldn't let it go.
Yeah, he seemed. Yeah,
that's what happened.
Is Drew mad at me? Do we have to bring him back on?
He's not mad at you. I know he's not mad.
Of course not.
He's singing Judas because of me. Maybe he is mad at me. And then I started talking about 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, maybe. It's a great movie.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite thing that's ever happened on the show. You guys were serious on is collision happening or not, and Spencer and I are cracking up over Schmidt fucking the captain's daughter.
Yeah, fair.
That is what we were laughing at. That is exactly
you see what I work with here, people. You see what I work with here, people.
This is why I don't get invited.
This is what I deal with on the reg.
What show did you think you signed up for?
But you loved it.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it. I'm just saying. I'm just letting them know I have to deal with this all the time. I want to send a big thank you to Ogdad in the chat saying good show as usual, very informative. Thank you. I don't know what kind of information you're getting from Pluggo and I, because I appreciate it.
Yeah,
but
me.
Whew, good Lord. We try. But yeah, we had the boss on talking some LPW. So that was we were spitting some facts there. But Spencer, obviously we talked a lot about LPW 24 coming up in a few weeks and all that fun stuff. But one more time, let the people know where they can watch it, where they can buy tickets if they're in the area, if there are any available. We sell out every month, so you got to be quick on that. You got to be quick on it. But just let the people know where they can follow you, where they can follow LPW, and all that information.
Yeah, follow me at Spenny Love, but don't just follow me. Please follow me. But follow all of us at Love Wrestling, wherever podcasts are played, videos are viewed, or awesome content is created by awesome people at Love Wrestling CA. If you want to come and check out our live events here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, we are on the final Thursdays and Fridays of every single month. So head to tixr.com/Love Wrestling if you want to pick those up. We've still got limited tickets available for the Thursday, Friday night. We've probably got 3 tickets left, and that might be generous as far as that goes. So make sure you pick those up because, like I said, we've got the Canadian Dream matchup between Speedball Mike Bailey and Nicole Matthews on Thursday, March 28th. And then LPW 2020, 24 hours to go on Friday, March 29th. Speedball Mike Bailey, Alan Angels, Veda Scott, and of course, all your LPW regulars like MRB, Zoe Sager, Mars the Specialist, Jack Pride, the Clandestine Society, the Rads, Larry Woods, everyone in between. So make sure you pick those up, and we've already got tickets on sale for April. There's a lot of great things you can find with Love Wrestling. So like I said, just stay tuned on the socials. You don't just need me. Stay tuned to everybody.
Love it.
And remember, Judas singing. Judas on Sunday, baby. Our comment section is wild.
I've never heard Drew sing. So like,
I haven't either.
What if he has pipes? He could have pipes.
Dude.
All of a sudden he starts singing, and it's like, holy moly.
You might
need to be singing somewhere professional.
Hell yeah, you never know.
You know? Pluggo, do the damn thing. Let the people know where they can find you, where they can find us.
You can find me in the boss's office on Friday morning getting yelled at for derailing shows. But you can find me at Pluggo_ on Twitter, at Pluggo on Facebook, at Pluggo_B2B on TikTok and Instagram. You can find what we do here, JPJ and I, at B2 Beards for all the Between Two Beards talk. You'll know what we got coming up. We got a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. You can find me Saturday morning. Thank you, Drew. That I can actually sleep now. I was hoping you really wasn't mad at me. You guys made me feel like you were mad at me.
Throwback.
Thank you
for the super chat.
Threw in another one. Which Pokemon are you excited for?
Look, Drew, I don't want to be followed by anybody either.
I'm always just excited by the new mythicals. So like Marshadow, I've got to say, but like, man, I'm just a shiny hunter at nature. So like, I'm starting to post more about that actually on Twitter. So stay tuned. I'm on, I think, egg like 100 and something to try and hatch me a shiny Totodile on Scarlet. So having fun.
Hell yeah.
Fun.
Back to you nerds. Back to the important stuff.
Look at MLB The Show comes out tomorrow, guys, and then my video game life is over. So that's the only game I'm playing for 5 months.
So real quick,
literally.
Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, Blair Pacheco.
I
don't want to forget.
You remembered it on your own.
We're talking Women's Wrestling Syndicate. We're talking Wrestling Revolvers Ready or Not. We're talking Black Label Pro plus GCW this past weekend. We'll talk about some of our highlights from that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including YouTube and on Twitch, where I just said MLB The Show comes out tomorrow. That is the main game we play. I will be playing that probably every time you see me on stream for the better part of the summer. So that is coming out tomorrow. So things over on the Twitch are about to get hot and heavy. So go give me some love over there.
We're talking missionary.
We're talking all of it. We're talking all of it, Plug. Pluggo just said he likes Squirtle.
I like Squirtle.
Fair.
I like Squirtles.
I like Squirrels. That's good. You can find me on Sunday mornings. Every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. with Drew, who was just here.
He's going to sing.
AEW, and he's singing this Sunday. He's singing Judas. So if there wasn't a good enough reason to just come hear me and Drew talk about AEW, him singing Judas is another reason to show up this coming Sunday. You can find me here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. with my boy Pluggo, doing between two beards. Everybody that's watching us on Twitter these last couple weeks, all our new friends on Twitter, make sure you go over to youtube.com/lovewrestlingca. Give us a little thumbs up. Give us a little subscribe. Hit that little bell for notifications so you can kind of catch us with all the cool things. We release a lot of matches over there, a lot of clips and shorts and reels and stuff. So if you've found us on Twitter these last few weeks, make sure you're giving us some love over on the YouTube too, because we got lots of cool content over there. And if you ever wanted to find a little bit extra content, you can go to patreon.com/lovewrestlingca for just a couple bucks. New record, baby. 274 right now, Drew. 274.
It's because Drew came on. It's because Drew popped on.
It's true. It's true. They heard you were singing and they're like, what? They thought you were singing now.
He's a draw. Throwback. I have no idea what that means,
kid's
buddy.
A draw. The kid's a draw.
Yes, he's going to sing them pipes.
But yeah, go over to patreon.com/lovewrestlingca. You'll get early access to the LPW show over there, amongst other things. Spencer, what else will you get over there on Patreon if people go over?
You're going to get the LPW show. You're going to get exclusive matches. You're going to be the first to find out about matches coming out for any of our future events, any of our future LPW flagship events, and maybe some exclusive interviews. Who knows? Maybe you'll get some of the stuff from the Win Column Sports Archives that you can't find anywhere else. Maybe you can hear me chat with superstars like Brian Pillman Jr., Lexus King. Maybe you can hear me chat with people like that. Rich Holiday, Alex Hammerstone, Chelsea Green, Casey Spinelli, TJ Wilson, a bunch of my old stuff over there as well, too. So
heck yeah.
You can definitely listen to the growth in Spencer Love's interviewing.
That's a normal beard, Brian Pillman Jr.
That is normal beard, Brian Pillman Jr.
That is something.
This is throwback right here.
That is something. So go give us some love over there. Tell all your friends. The more thumbs up, the more things you give us over there, it moves us forward in the algorithm, and more people will get eyes on us, and we can continue to bring you cool-ass content, cool-ass wrestling shows, and everything in between. Thank you, friends. Follow the three of us. Don't follow Drew. Follow the three of us. You know?
Are we going to kiss? Did you just try to kiss me? No, we're not going to kiss. Gross.
Can I
shout out
the show? Can I
shout out to Ryan and shout out to Throwback for the super chat?
Crying out loud. Throwback, thank you for the super chats. Sullivan, thank you for the super chats. Everyone else in the chat tonight, we love you. Thank you for the continued support.
It's an all-night stream, baby.
You know the drill. We'll see you next week. All right, are we good? Is everyone breathing? We're gonna get through this
talking
here.
About missionary.
You know the drill. We'll see you next week. Now go home and smoke some crack and say hi to Stu.
For legal purposes, don't do so.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Oh, or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves.